Pop Talk is where it's at, baby.
The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
I call bullshit.
This is Patrick Stewart, and I always watch Pop Talk with PACIFIC414. Make it so.
Patrick, how do you feel about Phil McCracken?
This is Patrick Stewart, and I wish to tell Phil McCracken that I hate him also.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to this edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk on the YouTube channel and PACIFIC414 on Rumble, along with Bear Norman Tag, Cash Money 007. I am your host, Mike, and this morning we have several articles to go through. One of them being that Mega City Police is having a name change.
Woohoo! Well, how do you feel about that, Baron?
You know, at first when I saw that, I thought it was they're changing the name that to be confused with Judge Dredd. But yeah, when we get into it, it's like, let's listen to the little mental midgets that think that they're Socrates are so crazy. However you want to pronounce it.
That's a good name for a game, Mental Midgets.
Socrates.
Mental midgets, yeah.
You know how much publicity that could get. What did you call that game? I'm offended. Is your name Peter Dinkleberry? Yeah, I said it. You heard me, YouTube. Anyways,
Cash makes no apologies. Never makes any apologies.
Dink, 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 dink. Dink, 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 dink.
Hey, by the way, Dinkleberry, just remember, the dwarves do not live in the cave. They work in the cave.
Diamond mine.
Yep.
We also have an article from Gaming Bolt that says Starfield could be in trouble as player numbers plummet.
I found that article and I laughed and I'm like, well, Baron's been playing Starfield and Starfield's on sale on Black Friday. It's about $20 off right now, Baron, or something on Steam.
Oh,
cheaper somewhere else.
So. I might get it on Steam there, yeah.
if you want to, but remember, it's still in the top 5. However anybody feels about it, it's still in the top 5 sales. So,
well, how can that be? How can that be? The drum that's plummeting. Right. Everybody wants.
Yeah,
they want to plant one in the bear instead, man.
We also have an article from Bounty in the Comics that is saying that the Witcher creator Andrzej. I know I butchered that.
This is a tough one because it's a Polish name. Yeah.
Sapowski says Netflix never listened to his feedback on live action series. The hell you say?
I'm shocked.
We will also take a look at this weekend's box office numbers once they become available. And our other article we'll be talking about is Joaquin Phoenix, one-man cult of depressive method acting vanity. Well, we'll get into that from Variety.
He's an interesting guy, but he's out there. He's still an interesting man, though.
Yeah. But first, we have our latest episode of Beverly Hills 414.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
I don't want it to be blowing out everybody's ears with the music.
What? I can't hear you. The music blew my ears out.
Previously on Beverly Hills 414. Mike went out for a quick Sunday drive. He got halfway across town before he heard someone in the back sneeze. Quickly parking, he found a small child dressed in rags hiding there. How'd the kid get in there? I don't ever leave my car unlocked.
Jimmied.
I thought this was mommy's car. The kid blurbed out quickly. Mike was about to toss the kid out and drive away. What do you mean? I was about to. I did.
Man, dude. Yeah, poor little bastard. Yeah.
But felt that would be a kid kicking a kitten with boots. I don't kick kittens.
Yeah.
No.
How about I take you somewhere that can help you find her, he said, and turned back around to continue driving. He even knew just the officer to ask for assistance. Yeah, the one at the police precinct. Yeah, the one I wanted to get her number from.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. So let's continue here. Baron was in fear and in near uproar. He had swung into the barber shop to get his beard trimmed so it wouldn't be so gnarly, only to find out there were no free appointments.
Oh, no.
What?
Come on, Raul. Are you sure you can't slip me in? Baron asked. And the giggles from the other customers informed him he could have worded that better. Pour bon, mon friend. Yeah, my French sucks.
Oui.
And a lot of other languages suck. Even my use of the English language.
Yeah.
You know, Raul will do all the things, but it cannot be done. I have, how you say, a full chance ticket. Apologies, mon ami.
Mon ami. Oui.
Mon ami.
Baron almost stopped out when Raul seemed to think you could perhaps wait and see if someone does not show for the appointment. What? No, Baron's going to stomp out.
No.
Yeah.
It was the best offer Baron was likely to get. He flipped on the bench seat and picked up a magazine that made him feel young, seeing the publication date.
That's
There
not
he
hard
waited.
to do in some of these waiting rooms.
True. Crypto had finished checking the couch for spare change and still didn't have enough to cover a soda. Though on the walk to the gas station, he smelled a free-range dollar bill caught in the drain. Really, you could smell me, huh, Cash?
I guess so. That's some pretty good senses, yeah.
Standing at the soda machine, trying to get the machine to take the bill and getting a little perturbed, he heard a familiar voice from the side.
What could it be?
Who could that be? Crypto coin. As I live and breathe, you cheap ass so and so.
Uh-oh.
As he looked, Crypto beheld the one and only Jake Mead, grifter, conman, and perfecter of the dine and dash technique.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, you got change for $1? This machine doesn't want to take it. It had been a while since that deal in Stockholm, but Jake's hair seemed to have gone back to normal colors.
Wow.
Whoa.
Sure do, but it will cost you a quarter's interest. The man grinned and flipped a coin easily across his knuckles. As thirsty as Crypto was, he almost considered just taking the offer.
Oh, almost.
Really? You're that easy, Cash?
I hope not.
It sounds like you have $1.75 in your pocket. Make you a deal. You get the $1, We flip all of it. Anything that lands on heads, I keep. Anything that lands on tails, you keep. I don't know. I'm not sure about this deal.
I know.
I don't
it's-
either.
I'm not sure about it either.
Will Baron get his beard trim and look less like a wild mountain man? What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
That's a
Sure.
good look. Women like it.
I just heard he just keeps running around and asking about bears. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
And how mad will he when he discovers the bench he sat on is one with gum stuck on it?
Oh no.
I think Bear would have looked before he sat down.
I tried.
Will Crypto get enough money for his soda from his ballsy bet with Jake? And what is Jake doing here anyway when he was last in Istanbul?
It's Temple.
Midnight
Well, Mike,
Express.
Yeah, I think so.
will Mike see that haughty traffic officer again? Can he figure out that his impromptu passenger has dreadful plans to overthrow the patriarchy?
Wow.
Oh my.
Man.
All this and more on today's episode of Beverly Hills 414 after these commercials.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Cash Money can put his change in my piggy bank any day.
I know it's wonky. I've been trying to fix it even before the broadcast.
Yeah. We've come to accept it, so should you.
I just find it funny. Why would
I'm gonna do
I
one
don't
more
think
thing.
I don't think this Jake guy, like he seems quite shady. Crypto might want to stay away. Not sure.
You don't know how to stay away, Cash. That's the thing. You don't know how to stay away. How does it sound now?
A little better.
I don't know. I think
How about now?
well, yeah, a bit better. Yeah.
How about now?
Getting there.
Yeah, getting there. Yeah.
Smart asses. How about now?
There we go.
Yeah, it's better. No, we were being honest with you this time. See?
Yeah, we're not being smart ass.
No, we're actually not.
Nah, you two, you're always smart asses.
Never, man. Listen to this guy trying to throw us under the bus, Baron.
I know.
No,
You might
I'm
think
not-
everything is okay, but Disney, he's gonna get you. Kathleen Kennedy's gonna get you. Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you.
That was Mike before the
Oh
show.
man. Yeah, I want to know where TCAP fits into this story. He won't put himself in his own story.
He's the writer. He's the writer. He doesn't include himself in the story.
No, he doesn't do fan fiction. He doesn't insert himself in. And let's,
I think what it is, he wants to be that Jake character. That's what it is.
How do we know he isn't Jake?
Might be.
Jake
He could
Walton.
very well be Jake. I mean, we know Jace is already in the story.
No, he might. That's true. I think what it is, Jake wants to also know what's been in that Danish, man.
Maybe.
Did you guys ever see that Family Guy clip? What was in that Danish? Jake and the fat man. He falls asleep during the investigation. It's I miss great Family Guy. I really do. Classic Family Guy. Ugh.
And TGF says, well, you'll have to stay tuned to find out. I'm more impressed Crypto can identify a $1.75 by sound.
Yeah, how does that work?
I didn't know you could do that.
I don't know. I don't even know how that works, man. That's crazy. Yeah. I refuse to do a self-insert, and I don't know. Okay. Yes.
But TGAP, that's all the rage nowadays. Put in the self-insert.
Mm-hmm. But see, I don't know. TCAP is probably one of those guys. Like it would be like Euro Trip, but even worse. Leave you in a bad place. And you'll find out it's
Don't worry, guys. This is the safest place you'll ever be.
For sure.
Meanwhile, you see the chalk outlines and
Yep. Chalk outlines and stuff. And the
police
hooker
tape.
over there. Yeah,
Yeah.
You see some pimps. The pimp did something to the hooker. Because I don't want to say other words because, YouTube, you might get upset. But you know what, YouTube? Go fuck yourself. Yeah, there we go.
Is this PACIFIC414?
They were actually very helpful.
They helped
recently.
So
Recently, Cash, as a couple of days ago.
Remember, this is a time for Mike to do his kissing up.
Okay.
No, really. I'm just gonna say something here. Between the three agents I talked to at Streamlabs, OBS, and then also YouTube, they all tried to help, and I appreciate that. Trying to get that software to work again. Unfortunately, Slob's most recent update kerfuckles everything. Yes, I said it that way on purpose.
So wait, YouTube actually cares? My God.
All you got to do is be nice and actually tell them what's going on and don't go in there with an attitude. And it's like my grandmother used to say, you'll catch more flies with honey than you will with vinegar.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, mine said shit.
But you know what? YouTube is still... they're YouTube. But no, I'm glad they actually did something. They did something, Baron. How do you feel about that?
Always trying to bring us down, man. Always trying to bring us down here.
I wasn't trying to bring you down. I was trying to bring something positive to the show.
No, you weren't. Cash is bringing us down, man. You're giving us an inspiring story, Mike. A very inspiring story.
It was inspiring.
Whoa! I just got bad feedback from your mic, Cash.
You did? I hope not.
Yeah, right in my ears.
I didn't hear anything.
Cash.
Bad.
And I do want to say hello to Wolverine. Good to see you.
No, this is okay. For those that might have missed it, this is the replay. Mike's going, YouTube. They really did a great job. They really helped me out. They're very helpful. And then Cash goes,
you know what really grinds my gears?
Yeah, I mean,
that's right. Because you know what? It's just
that's Cash. That's Cash.
It's shenanigans, man. And just remember,
remember, be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
It's like we say when we're talking about these movies and TV shows when these companies do something right. Well, YouTube did something right, so you got to praise them when they do something right.
But instead of me being a jackass about it, no, I'm happy they tried to help. It's nice when a company actually tries to help you. So.
I ended up getting them
to
work on my own, but
unfortunately. So.
No, I'm just sitting back saying that we're being serious about our praise, and we're having fun with Cash being the grumpy. Guy who wasn't in Fullerton this weekend. It was kind of boring.
Cash is always grumpy. He's always.
That movie The Grinch was on the other day. I was thinking about what toys I could steal from those kids. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, your movie was on? No wonder.
I know it was, man. No, The Grinch.
Always looking down upon
it was
the
weird,
citizens
though.
of Whoville.
That's right. No, it was weird. The movie was actually on Bravo of all things. They moved this stuff around to different networks, different channels.
T-Gav says, "Oop, work. Oh. Be back."
All
okay.
Right,
well, we're gonna go ahead and get in.
Let's go for it. Yeah.
Let's get into this first article here.
Yep.
It comes from Rogueliker. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the article and post it into both the YouTubes and the Rumble chats. And I'm also going to check the Rumble chat to see if anybody's stopped by. And Aval has stopped by. Good to see you, brother. And he also donated a $5 Rumble rant that says, "Let's go, guys. You deserve this." Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the support. And because you have donated to the channel, I forgot to do this the other night when Admiral Teague did it.
Oh, my.
but I'm gonna do it tonight because still gotta get used to this, guys. I hear you snickering, Cash. I hear you.
Well, Cash is all about the money, so.
But thank
Not
you
always,
all for that $5 Rumble rant, and for that, this is for you.
All right, put the money in the bag.
I'll buy that for $1.
You've been waiting for me to use that one there, and I know you have.
Okay. Put
You
the
know it.
money
You
in
know
the
it.
bag. Imagine somebody coming into your store and saying, doing that with the. It's clever. It's clever.
All right, so let's get on with this article from Rogue Liker. You did, and you told me about it. And I said, "Yeah, we can use it." See how easy I can be sometimes. I don't always reject your guys' ideas.
Yeah, only 90% of the time.
90%.
Yeah, there's a 10% chance I might go. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, he'll be merciful to us.
Sometimes, yeah. Hey, you like this idea? And Mike's like, no. Why not, Mike? Please.
I think it's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dr. Pop just starts rising.
And we go, well, see, we ask him, do you like this idea? He goes, no. We ask, why? And then he just comes back with this.
Take my star attack.
Yeah, pretty much. he said, put a chick in it, make her gay and lame every time. So
yeah, okay, yeah.
Right. So we have this article, and it says Mega City Police changes name to Mega City Force to avoid association with the police.
For them to have to dial 911.
Yeah,
I know, right? Jeez.
This was posted on the 23rd. It's by Mike Holmes. And it starts off by saying the studio behind Mega City Police has just announced that the game has undergone a name change. Henceforth, the top-down action roguelite will be known as Mega City Force, developer Undream Games has confirmed. The studio wants to move away from the association to the police that the old name made, noting that certain social events have unexpectedly cast a significant negative spotlight on the term police in connection with our game in ways never intended. Well, maybe you should stop listening to the mainstream media. And
I heard it on the mainstream media and Twitter and Twix and Facebook and all this other stuff. It was amazing. I heard it on Instagram and I heard it on TikTok. Yeah.
See, these are the most inept virtual signalers there are. 3 years later, okay, I guess we'll change the name now. 3 years after all the problems we're having. Mm-hmm. It's like recent events. What how far up
it is, man, it is.
Kitty Bear. And I do want to say hello to Kitty Bear over on the YouTube side.
We're gonna get Mike go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna see we're gonna get Mike to sing on his channel "Message in a Bottle" sometime soon. So.
No. There won't be any karaoke streams on this channel. Nobody wants their ears to bleed if they hear me sing. Are you kidding? Not only would people unsub and unfollow the channels, they would also leave nasty messages, which would be, deserving.
You'd be surprised, man, what would happen. You'd be surprised.
Every breath you take, every move you make, every pizza you bake, I'll be watching you.
Ooh, every pizza. All right.
Pizza.
Yeah.
It goes on to say in the article, the announcement included an explanation that goes beyond just the negative connotations of being associated with law enforcement, pointing to how the title better reflects the game's overall theme. I don't buy it. Go ahead, Baron, play that clip.
Oh,
come on, play George Carlin.
There's a lot of clips I can choose. There's a lot to
George
choose.
Carlin.
Oh, okay, George. I thought that's the one you wanted.
I call bullshit.
Very good.
And one more time.
I call bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
According to the developer, blah blah blah. That's why I'm saying that. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
The new name better represents the core of the game, as it's all about a group of old school action heroes fighting for justice in the city called Mega City. Yeah, right. That's a cop-out excuse.
Yeah, it is. Literally, no pun intended.
No.
Yep.
A name change and a delayed update. Ultimately, though, it's clear that recent events, come on, Mike, read,
You can do
all
it.
over the world
Yeah.
have prompted the change, even if the post doesn't go as far as highlighting any individual examples. Here are the studio's own words on the matter for the avoidance of doubt. We acknowledge. Hold on, I'm trying to get my most empathetic voice going. We acknowledge that some may connect the game to negative aspects, such as police brutality, which prompted them to refrain from playing. We support the law, but not the rigidity and violations. We care about people's feelings and don't want associations to cause negativity. Okay.
What about the criminals
Sniff,
that
sniff.
cause brutality? What about them? No, they don't count.
They're just
It's fine.
misunderstood.
It's fine.
They're just misunderstood.
They're
because the
misunderstood.
police are
You
that
don't understand.
way.
Exactly.
You know, you just don't understand
You don't
what
get
we
it.
got going on here. We have to
I'm
make
happy
sure
to
that the
explain
games
it to
reflect
you.
reality, and the police are evil, even though they're still technically police. But they're going around still shooting people up in this game. But at least we didn't call them police, so our feelings weren't hurt.
Oh no.
And it says at the end of the name change update, we also got a little note about the upcoming factory and robot update. Okay, that's nice.
Okay. That's good.
Which is now due to land later than expected on December 21st. Okay, so you know what? Here's what I got to say to the developers of Mega City Police. Pull up your big boy britches or big girl britches and stick with the name. Yes, I will.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, I will admit, in any organization, you do have the bad apples, but not every single person who's a police officer is a bad person.
No.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, let's play this game. Let's play this game, shall we?
Okay.
Let's play this game.
All right, let's play
Mr. Mega City Police, we can't have that no more. Undreamed games, because they're undreamed because they don't have a fucking brain to dream with. Okay, if you're gonna go that way, what if we change it to ethnic groups and use the same argument? What would that make us?
Exactly. Idiots,
What if
hypocrites,
we,
ignorant. Yeah.
right. I mean, if you apply these same standards to a gender, if you apply it to an ethnic group, or even a whole nation, what would that make you? Then it's the ethnophobe if we did that. This is no different. This is, and I will say the word, bigotry at its finest.
Oh yeah, it's just more pandering. It's stupid.
It's worse than pandering. What's going to happen when these mothers need to dial 911? We're not going to send the police. We're going to send the force. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the negotiators. They'll go over there and try to get into these people and try to talk to them, and we're just going to come in there and try to see what their feelings are and why they're doing this and all that. No, you want the friggin' police. It's amazing how these people scream "fuck the police," and then something happens to them and they're crying to the police.
Yeah, I know they're hypocrites,
but
but
it works all the time.
It is.
Right.
And what, like I said, I know some people like, I don't want cops around. Okay, then you're going to defend yourself. He says, okay. I said, okay. That's the other choice you have. Then forget about the cops. Defend yourself. You know,
if you have that much problems with the police, don't you ever fucking dial 911. Take that number off your phones.
Agreed.
Completely.
If there is a legitimate scumbag police place, and there are some, there's some. I'm going to say some. I'm not going to say all of them. Then and they don't care, and they don't want to care about the neighborhood and stuff. Then guess what? Your second choice is arming yourself. I know that's scary to certain
arming
people,
yourself, learning self-defense.
That's right.
I got 2 arms.
Yep.
Oh, you're not talking about that, sorry. You know, and since we're bringing it up, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely need to arm and keep birds.
Yeah.
I mean, no, and all ridiculousness. No, they're going out there and saying it. A lot of the times in a emergency, and we're not talking about police, right? We're not talking about police related per se,
right?
But something happens, an accident, or someone has is in a medical emergency or so. The first ones that arrive are usually who? The police.
Yep.
Who's the one that starts the processes to save these people's lives?
Yep.
The police.
Yep. This is not about being pro police either. What this is about is just seeing the bigger picture. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is always
a lot of people unfortunately have tunnel vision.
They do.
Right. And they never themselves had an issue with the police.
Right.
They probably had nothing but positive experience with the police, but because it's the narrative, oh my God. Or, the police had to go and stop them from doing something stupid when they were a kid. It's like, oh, the police were bad because, I was trying to do this and they stopped me from doing it. They're just nothing but a bunch of ists and phobes, They complain that they're not in certain neighborhoods. But when they go in the neighborhoods and start taking care of it, they get screamed down and start siding with the person that was doing the crime.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, the cops can be lazy too. I remember some trailer in front of our house, and they waited for another place or another town or whatever to take care of it. I mean, they could have taken care of right there. It was obvious there's stolen cars in that trailer at the time, and that was there for a few days. It's quite obvious there's some fishy stuff going on, and I'm sure there were stolen cars in there. And they didn't do anything about it. Then that thing took off after a few days, and somebody else, I'm sure they impounded it or whatever, took it in another police area. I'm not sure, but probably.
Well, that's
they're being lazy about it. So
and sometimes we might think they're being lazy, but maybe they're setting a trap and seeing who does it so they can follow to the stuff.
It's possible.
I mean, we don't know everything that goes on. We really don't
that
know
is true. I think that's a fair point.
It's not our business to know everything that goes on. There are certain things we shouldn't know.
No.
Yeah, we don't want the bad guy tipped off, right?
Right.
And people say, well, if you're in a police department, a cop is bad and you're letting him get away with it, you're just as compliant. Well, there's a little thing, I'm going to bring it up right now, called a union. And trying to get some of these people kicked off of a force with a union is nigh to impossible unless there's something they really do horrible. And that's just about anything in a union. How many times if you're in a union and you're there and you got some F-off, jackhole doing stuff, and no matter how often you complain, it's like, sorry, he's still within the realms of this. Or you have something with the case up here in Minnesota, our esteemed now senator letting Siobhan go at least once for doing shady things years ago.
Yes.
And just writing it off.
Right. So we already knew that police officer, that one cop, had some problems, but we also know which we're not going to get into it because I haven't heard any, because YouTube might strike the channel, so we can't have that. We can get into it on Rumble later, but another time.
On Wednesday. But the thing is, if you bust the Amy Klobuchar, you're just to blame.
Yeah, I know.
But they're going to praise her till no end.
I know.
I do want to say hello to DJ Ronnie G over on the YouTube side who says the PAC414. And he's got his turtles with him.
Yep.
Yay! You get a special nerd for that one there. That's a
nerd.
Nerd, yay!
No, but
I love the turtles.
I really think it's, you know, a stupid excuse as to why they're changing the name of the game.
And,
Of
yeah,
course, but it's just more pandering, and it's my feelings again. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. I mean, I'm not saying that name is bad that they change it to, but it doesn't need to be changed.
No.
It's DJ Ronnie G, man. Feed your turtles all the time, man. But if they're
Yeah.
if they're
Yeah.
if they're getting
they'll
fat,
eat you.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Will
they'll-
turtles
they'll
get
eat
fat? Yeah, maybe they do. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they can. They'll bust out of their they'll bust out of their shells. But I mean, let's take next step. Are all firefighters pure as a wind-driven snow?
No.
No. Should we then sit
You
back and
have
say
bad
fire
apples no
departments?
matter where you were.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, and there's some
That just-
departments that are actually bad, but usually when they're investigating a police department, they say there's all this racism or whatever. Actually, I think you can say the other word, but then it doesn't always turn out to be the same problem. And then, of course, recently there was some police officers who are basically a certain person. I just look. There's bad cops and there's good cops. I want to believe always that there's, at least here in the United States, that there's more good cops than there are bad cops. So I've had some good experiences with the police in the past. So.
And thank you for stopping by, Kitty Bear. Have fun listening to Tom on Mead Radio.
All right, Kitty Bear. Have a good one, man.
But yeah, this is just a stupid excuse to change.
It always usually is. Yes.
But you want to get into more stupid stuff?
Yep. Your mic sounds a lot better, by the way, Mike. Good job. You did it.
Don't worry. I'll take the time even during the show to try to fix things.
That's good. Yes.
So the link to the article that we're going to talk about next into the chats first before I present it. Because this is another stupid is stupid does. And here we go. Actually, the Legend of Zelda movie shouldn't include Link at all. This comes from GameSpot.
Yeah, they've had some dumb articles.
Oh yeah.
They are I think they're an affiliate of CBS, but yeah, everything from
who isn't anymore.
I don't know. You got IGN, GameSpot. I remember when they had that Kevin Van Orn guy. Man, that guy would put together detailed reviews. I miss people like that on GameSpot. Now we have people who just are about, a lot of them, about their feelings. If you guys even look it up, somebody actually wrote an article about how a bra size works. I mean, they.
I have to sit back and stare.
I wish that was a joke. And that was the same woman who wrote, "There's too much water in that Pokemon game." So go figure.
I think they should keep Link, but make Link overweight, transsexual like me, Gorlock. It should represent me.
Oh no.
Baron and his Gorlock. Well, you know what happens when you breed out Gorlock, Baron. Me, Grimlock, have to come out.
Uh-oh. Grimlock has returned.
Grimlock.
Me, Grimlock here.
Gorlock. I hope you brought flowers, Grimlock.
Me, Grimlock don't bring flowers. Why you need me, Grimlock, to bring flowers?
Well, no man can turn me down. I'm just so hot they'll want me.
Me, Grimlock, no man. Me, Grimlock, Donaldbot. All right.
Oh man.
So, GameSpot is saying actually the Legend of Zelda movie shouldn't include Link at all. It's by Phil Hornshaw. It was written on the 22nd, or posted on the 22nd, I should say. And it says exactly this. As soon as the news of a movie adaptation of The Legend of Zelda broke, there was one question that swept the discourse. Should series protagonist Link speak? A lot of people are very passionate about the possibility of the movie putting a voice in the head of the perennially near silent protagonist, with many claiming he should not, in fact, say anything. And one can't help but think of the, well, excuse me, princess, cartoon adaptation from 1989 that filled the Link void with attitude, making him more an obnoxious smart aleck than a noble knight. Well, that would fit for today's society and today's target audience.
Yeah.
That's how it works now. I mean, that's it. Yeah.
Or the recent animated movie adaptation of Super Mario Brothers, and agree Link shouldn't speak. Adding dialogue to Link means stamping him with a potentially annoying personality, as in the 80s, or with the only broadest, dullest strokes of one, as in the Mario movie. You don't know that? You don't know that? We haven't seen the script.
Oh,
We've
by
only
the
heard
way,
that it's been announced.
look, however people feel about the Mario film, if you don't like it, you think it's a kid's thing. I just find it really funny that a lot of critics just went after it hardcore. And it's just like, and people started thinking, of course, like they would, and including me, that did it not have the agenda that you wanted? Were you upset about that? Is that what upset you?
That's exactly why they were upset about it. It didn't
God.
have.
Did you want Princess to tell
check
Mario
boxes
he's an
that we
idiot
talk
all the
about.
time or something? I'm right.
Yeah.
The article goes on to say, either way, everyone is wrong. It doesn't matter if Link talks, because who cares about Link? The series isn't called The Legend of Link. The Legend of Zelda movie should be about the game's only real interesting character, and her name is right there in the title. Simp.
Okay. So take out all the scenes with Indiana Jones, because it's the Lost Ark. It's all about the Lost Ark. That's what we should be
about the Ark.
Yeah, we just we'll watch most of the movie where it's sitting there and then gets taken out and does the thing. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Jeez, why do we have that stupid Indiana Jones talking, especially when you have a strong female like Marion? She should be the one. Her and the Ark together.
You know, the Ark just tips over one day. Oops, there goes the spirits. Oops, we let them out. Oh, crap.
And Ronnie, you're right. It does have a dumb headline.
Well, it has a dumb article, so it matches.
Well, that's why we're mocking it right now.
We are? Oh, I haven't even started. I just
Speak, Link. Speak, boy.
Well, I mean, it sounds like the new animated Tomb Raider series is now more about Lara Croft's feelings and not her raiding tombs. So, you know.
Well, you have a writer from the Marvels and WandaVision
up if you tried.
as a part of the Lara Croft Tomb Raider show that's going to come out. And let's also not forget, you have Phoebe Waller-Bridge, a part of that as well.
Not a fan of certain things she does.
No. Unlike Link, sorry, Zelda does speak in the games, and she does have personality. In fact, there are lots of Zelda personalities over the years, marked by a few underlying important traits. So anybody making an adaptation has their pick. She's been a wise sage, a duty-driven, benevolent monarch, and a time-traveling sorceress. What, does she get up to 88 miles per hour?
Probably.
Well, when she and Link get together,
She was a precious child forced to endure visions of calamity, and she's been a spooky supernatural voice invading Link's dreams. She was an archaeologist and a leader of a band of heroes tasked with using giant robots to save the world. You mean she's contacted Cybertron and asked Optimus Prime and the Autobots for help? Good for her.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cash, I'm just making a joke here, man.
No, I know
What?
that. I'm just
I
being
thought it was
honest that
real.
there are actual robots. There are
I
kind of
don't-
robot stuff in the Age of Calamity game if you ever get to play it. So you do actually
Autobots,
get to be one.
Hyrule is in trouble.
Hyrule is in
Prin-
trouble, Autobots.
Princess Zelda has contacted us for help. We don't
Yeah.
know if the
No.
Decepticons are behind this, but whoever's behind this, we must stop them, no matter
Don't
the
worry,
cost.
Rodimus Prime, I'll be there. I'm Rodimus Prime. I'll help
Hot
you.
Rod.
Yay!
Hot Rod, you're staying behind to guard our base here on Cybertron.
I'll sit in
I
the
don't
chair and
want
spin
you-
around. Yay!
I don't want you anywhere near the battlefield. You might get me killed again.
This is just
Rodimus
more
in the
like
sky.
more shenanigans. So we'll continue.
She was a secret ninja. Oh, she was trained by Splinter and
Yeah.
trained with Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael. Awesome. Oh wait,
Fantastic.
or does she identify herself as April O'Neil? I don't know.
No.
Maybe it's DJ Ronnie Turtles.
Ah, yes.
She was a damn pirate captain. Oh, you mean she was with Jack Sparrow? Savvy.
No, she was with us when we raised the flag. Arr.
Goes on to say it can sound like all the different iterations of her mean she's constantly in flux as a character, which would make her like Link. After all, if you choose between ninja, archaeologist, pirate, and divine instrument, how is that all different from just adding a personality to Link for the sake of drama? But even with the various takes on Zelda, they're all united by the underlying elements of her personality that mean a movie wouldn't just have to invent her out of a whole cloth like it would with Link. Zelda is always a natural leader, always pursuing knowledge, always marked by a sad and self sacrificing wisdom, and always empathetic and driven by her sense of duty to others. Even though there are a lot of versions of Zelda, she's still a pretty defined and recognizable character. She's usually the one making stuff happen, the one with the knowledge of how to defeat evil, and the one telling Link where to go and what to do. Oh, so basically they want Zelda to be the lead so she can be the bestest ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And it's funny
That's
because
what it sounds like to me.
if you guys played any of the Zelda games, I don't know how big of a fan you are of the Zelda games or not, but
I like the Zelda games.
Yeah.
I don't know the lore as deep as some people
right.
might.
Yeah. But
I'm
yeah,
gonna sit
Zelda
here and get.
Zelda, go ahead, Baron.
Oh, I'm gonna sit here and get a mani petty, and I'm gonna send Link out to do all the dirty work, and then I'm gonna be claimed as the greatest ever.
The thing is that Link, if you play any of these games, Link and Zelda work together, and Link and Zelda really do care about each other. But obviously, there's evil in the world because of Gandalf or whatever.
Whoa!
Yeah, I know, right?
Gandalf? No.
And I like what T-Gap says here.
Ganon,
Her
actually,
personality.
not Gandorf. Ganon. Excuse me, Ganon.
But I like what T-Gap says here. Her personality, didn't they just tell us there's like 20 of those? Yeah, she's bipolar.
Which most of these people are.
It's just more silliness. They don't understand that Link and Zelda have always worked together to destroy evil. And Link is just as important as Zelda, I know. To take down to take down Ganon, not Gandalf. That'd be funny though. But yeah, go ahead.
And the author of the article says, honestly, I shouldn't have had to say more than Secret Ninja or Pirate Captain to convince you that any Legend of Zelda movie should be about the legend of the Zelda of Legend, whatever.
Oh,
But if you need more
The
persuading,
Legend of Zelda.
direct your attention toward the two most recent mainline Zelda games, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, are about Link and their gameplay, but both are Zelda games in every narrative way that counts, and
Okay.
tell the best, most character driven stories that the series has ever had as a result. The trouble is, you have to work hard to track down and assemble the story yourself. Oh no, you got to put some work into the game to actually see where the game's
Wow.
story
I
is
don't know.
going. Oh no. Oh no, you mean you got to do
Yeah.
it all yourself? Oh no, I have never done that in games. I've always played it on some mode that allows me to skip certain parts of the story.
Well, this is the ultimate. This is the ultimate
The
easy
the
mode.
the
Do
whole
it all
thing
for
is
me. I don't have to search for all this in there. I don't have to work for it.
the right exactly. But the whole thing, yeah, I know. The whole thing is that what people want to certain people want to break it down to the simplest thing. Link saves Zelda. What they don't understand, or what they don't want to understand, is that there's so much more than that. You play Skyward Sword, for example. There's people that don't like Link, and Zelda defends Link, and Link grows from that, and all these kind of things happen. And but they just want to say, oh well, Zelda has to, it's time. It's the same thing with the argument of Amy and Sonic. Amy
Mhm.
needs to have her own game. She must have her own game. It's time. We're going to bring out our torches and pitchforks if she doesn't. It's just really funny to me.
Goes on to say here, Breath of the Wild focuses on Zelda as she struggles with her apparent destiny. Apocalypse in human form, Ganon is expected to wake up any time after being defeated millennia earlier, and it'll be Zelda's job to seal him away with magic before ravages Hyrule yet again. And yes, that's how they wrote it. Before he ravages, before they, whatever you want, however you want to put it, who cares?
Before they, yeah. Well, if they're saying they, then they're talking about Zelda and Link, I guess. Or they could have just said Zelda and Link, but whatever.
Yeah. Zelda needs to unlock her hereditary magical power, which is not going well, and the failure she feels bleeds into her relationships. When she meets Link, who's appointed to be her bodyguard, she doesn't particularly like him, largely because he doesn't speak and seems to have no character or motivation, but also because he's clear of purpose where she's conflicted. She eventually travels the world to track down, unite, and lead heroes who can stand against Ganon, and then those heroes completely and totally fail, bringing about what is basically the end of the world, with Zelda and Link on the run as they struggle to avoid getting annihilated by the ancient evil. Zelda has been told her entire life that it'll be her job to stop. It's actually a pretty great story if you can dredge it out of the muck where Nintendo has buried it. Zelda struggles with the weight placed on her shoulder as a princess, responsible for all of Hyrule, and as a figure of legend saddled with generations of baggage and the job of preventing the literal apocalypse. You see her frustration as she struggles to unlock the magic she's supposedly destined to wield, and battles the inadequacy she feels when she can't seem to unlock it. She eventually grows as a person. Wait. Zelda starts at one point, and then as the story progresses, she learns and grows. Amazing!
What's really funny to me, you guys,
What the hell you say?
you can go into anything from Lethal Weapon to Indiana Jones. Like, if Marion, Indiana Jones can't complete his mission without Marion, right? Obviously.
Right.
In Lethal Weapon, obviously, oh God, Riggs and why can't I think of the other character's name? I can't think of the other character right now. Whatever. What it is that characters have to. Same thing with The Rock. You know, Sean Connery's character needs Nicolas Cage's character to complete the task. You know, yeah, Murtaugh. Thank you, Murtaugh. Thank you, TCAP. Yes, and they have to work together. This is what's really funny to me. We've written stuff for many years where characters work together. There's even in the 90s, wait for it, even before that, women and men work together. What is Aliens? You know, it's just or Alien, you know, whatever. But I just always find that stuff funny. I really just find this stuff funny. You know, it's like, but the main character's a man, so they always want to use that argument. The main character's a man. But if we don't have the female character in this story, how do we help progress? How do we help come together? How do we have more teamwork? Like this all matters. At least it used to. Now it's more this character has to be stronger than this one and vice versa. And it's just weird. It really is. Especially when you're fighting evil. Yeah.
Yeah. As it says here, she eventually grows as a person to overcome her own self doubt, finding strength in herself as a leader, not because someone told her that's what she is, but because she proves those things to herself. Yeah, that's what's part of the great character story arc. They actually prove it to themselves. They learn what they can do, and even the things they can't do, they try to figure out a way to gain that knowledge so that they can do it.
Yep. Yeah. That's why they love each other and they work so well together. And the interesting thing, if you guys want to get deeper into this, you can buy the like a Dynasty Warriors type game. If you guys ever played like a hack and slash type one, okay, cool. And you can get Age of Calamity, and that's basically the prequel to Breath of the Wild. So you'll learn more about the characters. Just
why the hell would you want to do that?
I know, right?
Yeah, come on, Cash, come on.
Just give me the story, man. Spoon feed it. Here's the spoon. Here's the plane. Open mouth.
Just hold my hand as the story's being presented to me. It might be too frightening for me.
Yeah, it's too much. Too frightening. Hold me like you did on Naboo. Okay, anyways.
That went into a weird area.
Yeah,
it did, but it just
thanks, Cash.
It was funny. I know, but it was just funny. No, but really, all jokes aside, yes, I think really people just want to be spoon fed these stories, and it's like, don't you want to think for yourself? Isn't that the point? No.
Cash?
No, they don't want to think about themselves. They want representation.
Why do I have to think for myself? Come on,
I know.
for me.
I know.
For me.
Somebody hold my hand. Teach me the ways.
Little head.
Possibly. Well, I know. Basically, this is again self-insertion. The author thinks of herself as Zelda, and everybody else is Link, and it's like, don't they know what I go through? And all these Links, they don't do a thing. I'm more important than they are.
Yep.
It goes on to say,
out there.
Yeah, and then in Tears of the Kingdom builds on the foundation by throwing Zelda into a time travel story. Yeah, she got it the DeLorean, got it up to 88 miles per hour, and traveled.
You're gonna see some serious shit.
Or was it the telephone booth? I don't know.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Where she makes incredible sacrifices for the good of everyone else. That's what a hero does. They sacrifice themselves.
Yes.
Hey, gnarly princess dude.
For the betterment of their people. Or the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Or the one.
That is only logical, Captain.
Precisely. By contrast, Link's story in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is mostly that he is present for the previously discussed events. He refuses to die at a few key moments, to his credit, and he is brave and swings a sword well.
Okay.
It's go ahead.
Okay. I mean, the rest of it is going to be continue being this
Yeah.
woke word salad crap. But let's go to the basis why Link is important. That's the protagonist. That's us in that universe. We're the ones interacting. You start taking away Link in that. You have now taken away the eyes into the world, the one that you are in there interacting with. You're the one that is in that world itself. The Link doesn't need to necessarily talk because whatever conversations in your head because you're playing that part.
Right.
Yeah, we're seeing it from Link's perspective.
Yep. It's the same thing with the main character in Dragon Quest. He doesn't talk. Now, some people will say he has to talk, and really he doesn't, because you can just start thinking what he might say in his head, or she, or whatever. Yes.
Right.
And I don't think we need to go on with what's remaining in this article. I mean, really, if this author, and it's Phil Hornshaw. Wait, is that Phil Zelius instead of McCracken? He calls himself Hornshaw.
I think so. This is a Phil story. He's trolling again. He is trolling. Good job, Phil.
We're kidding with you, Phil. We're kidding with you.
Look,
McCracken, that is not Hornshaw, but
the funny thing is that there was somebody who wrote an article when Persona 5 Strikers came out and said, I don't like that hot spring scene. It offends me. It's not cool. It's objectifying women. It's like, well, then I guess the game succeeded. If it upsets a lot of the game media, it seems to succeed.
Well, the thing is the hot tub scene shouldn't be cool. It's a hot springs.
It's a hot springs scene. Yes, they have a lot of those.
Yeah, there is the annoying fairy. And
yes, there isn't. She is. The fairy is not the best.
Oh.
Hey!
I thought you were talking.
Hey!
Hey!
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the author of the story.
that.
Whoa! Where'd that come? You know what that takes? You know what that takes?
No,
you know what that?
Look, it's
that right
just
there. I just did. You know that is.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
No, but it's just so funny. What they do is they want to put this either in the simplest terms because they don't want to think more, or they want it has to be a roadmap because we need a roadmap. And this person who wrote this article seems to need a roadmap. I understand that there can be stories that are confusing and nonsense. I look at stuff like Matrix Revelations. That story was ridiculous, but it's just. I don't find Zelda a very hard story to understand. I don't find Breath of the Wild a hard story to understand. I think if you start piecing things together just a little bit more, you'll figure it out. But it just always seems to me that they need to be spoon-fed all the time. Somebody needs to hold their hand. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right because these people are not taught to think.
No.
They can't.
Critical thinking is gone.
They don't want to. It's like, do you really feel this way? Okay, you do. Well, let me explain this. Well, that doesn't make any sense to me. I went, why doesn't it? It's the same thing with you have a conversation as example with a social justice warrior. You try to explain to her, well, you have to understand that there has been many female strong lead characters before. What about Xena? What about Lara Croft? You always want to sit there with the same argument that they all sat in bikinis in games and they were objectified and this nonsense. But that's not always the truth. And even though Lucy Lawless is an attractive woman, her character was so much more than her attraction.
Right.
That's the reality. That's because people worked on this and they wanted to make sure that these characters were important. I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre recently. Well, who's the one who survives? The woman. Because she had a little luck. And, but she was scared, but she was trying to figure things out. Smart characters will figure things out, and the dumb ones will probably die in the story if that's what they want. You know,
Well, and more importantly, too, is all of them are scared. Everybody's scared. That's
of course, man.
Survival. I mean, honestly, these people have been so numbed down. They need to have their hand held through everything.
Yep.
They're so used to having the gratification right now. I need my instant gratification in this particular product. I need it now or else. And then with that, they start coming up with crazy, stupid ideas like this.
Yes, they do. It's always the same. You go back even to 1988 or something. There's a game, and I've made this. I've talked about this before on here. They have a female character. Well, all these men are flirting with her and saying these sexual things to her. And what does she say? Shut up. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny.
Nice.
That's it. It's funny.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be good banter. Yes.
We love it when the jackass gets shot down.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You know, even the men like it when the jackass. No, all the men are like that. That's what they're thinking.
Yes. And hello, Christian fandom geek. Hope you're having a good day. That's just the way it's always been, and they want to keep tearing this stuff apart. They want to change things. It's just like the Lara Croft thing. Why would a lot of people who are fans of hers for a long time care about all her feelings? Her feelings are going to come out anyways, just like they did in the reboot games. But she was still looking for tombs, and she was still growing as a person. I don't understand why this is a hard concept for people. It's crazy to me.
Because they were told by the professor or whoever was in charge of their local SJW branch they're part of, or their little bubble group. And again, a lot of these people never played these games. They're just being told what to think about it.
Right.
And they know nothing about it. So they just go off with the bullshit. And again, when they get called on it, they have to do other things because they know they don't know anything. But they like to do the subterfuge, and then of course, needless to say, the typical insults. You're an estophobe, this or that. You're just a man, or whatever it is. I mean, they go right into, and let's call it what it is: bigotry talk. And they're the bigots.
Yeah, always, man, always. It's always the same. And it's very unfortunate that it just keeps going this way. And it's like you said, Baron, ask the question, what do you know about this series? What have you played about the series? What do you actually know about the character?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you obviously played Breath of the Wild. You obviously played Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, have you played the other Zelda games too? That's what I would like to know. You played the other ones. What knowledge do you have on this? If you want to feel that way, you can feel any way you want. I understand that, but once again, you're saying that this has to be this way or else. That's the way that a lot of these articles always come off as. It has to be this way or else.
Right. Well, I read the Wikipedia
see it my
page.
way, and if you don't agree with me, well then, to hell with you.
Right. I know so much about it because I did the Cliff Notes and the Wikipedia page, and that told me everything about it.
So you have no hands-on experience with playing the game, reading the manual, because sometimes back in the day, you could read the game manual and it would give you the story.
Yeah, it'll tell you what the story is. And look,
or if you put the cartridge in the NES, it told you the story from that point. Then, as you play the game, you're continuing said story.
The hell you say?
Well, yeah, that's just it. I mean, just even watching like the He-Mans on the tube here, the opening, the opening of the show, the beginning credits. That you need to know. You don't need anything more about what's going on. You have just been that quick history lesson, and now let's go for it.
Yeah, because in that beginning monologue of He-Man, the Filmation cartoon, Adam says, "Hi, I'm Adam, Prince of Eternia," and he tells you how he holds the secrets of Castle Grayskull by lifting atop his magic sword and saying, "By the powers of Grayskull," and then he says, "Only 3 other people know my secret: Man-at-Arms, the Sorceress, and Arco."
Right. And do you want to and look at this for a character, the Sorceress? Look what she sacrificed to be where she's at. The power. She made a sacrifice for the betterment of Eternia. She can't leave Castle Grayskull, except she goes whatever. But she's stuck there. She's not immortal no more. But yet she's basically stuck in Castle Grayskull because why? She put the well-being of everyone over herself, and that in it by itself made her character one of the strongest in the entire series.
Yeah, I mean, think about it too, and this is a spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, but guess what? Teela is the Sorceress's daughter.
Right.
She had to give up Teela to be the Sorceress of Castle Grayskull. But that's why Duncan, aka Man-at-Arms, is keeping an eye on her. Why? Because he's her father.
Yep. Exactly.
Because eventually Teela will become Sorceress of Castle Grayskull.
Another strong woman? Perish the thought.
Hey, Kevin Smith, did you hear that, you mental midget moron? Huh? Between your weepings and your cryings, did you hear that?
And I want to say hello to Anonymous.
Wait.
Anonymous. Go ahead, play it. Play it.
Anonymous. Anonymous. Anonymous.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, you got just like Prince Adam, Cash, you got the power.
Yep. Yep. It's crazy to me. And even like you take the 89 series and then they made the 2002 series, or it was basically a reboot. It's like, dang, this is so dang good. I got to watch that again. We got to watch that again. I think we had started one day, but
we did, and then we stopped.
We'll have to
even
get
with
back to
Batman, very few people know who Batman really is.
it. Right. Yeah, that's true. And he has his own trauma, just like a lot of these characters, because it's a growing experience. Because life isn't easy, and that's why the people who wrote this stuff, that they put their experiences. But once again, it's like, it's not what you're saying is wrong, but you're obviously, a lot of these articles become a lecture, and it's really just annoying. And the reason that people feel so strongly about certain things, it doesn't matter how a character looks, a female character, or this has been censored or this. And the reason they feel that way is not because they're a bunch of perverts. That's right, Anonymous. Is because they feel this way, is because they care a lot about these characters, and they do not like when somebody takes a wrecking ball to them and starts changing things that don't need to be changed. They do not like that, and it pisses people off. And then you get these other people, oh, who cares? It doesn't matter. Why don't you cry about it?
Yes, it does matter if there's already been something established about the character, and then a sequel series comes along and completely throws out that overly established character story arc or trait and acts like it never existed. Then fans are going to get open arms about it.
Yep. And I will say the same thing about, and we talked about this, and of course we're going to get more articles like this, of course, that it doesn't matter if a character is not overweight, healthy, whatever. If it's a good character, who cares? Once again, if you see a character that's already established as being overweight or thick or whatever, then I don't want to see another movie or TV show or game that has that character thin. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's stupid because it's obviously her weight or his weight is part of the character.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you go out there and be weightist?
I know, right?
I mean,
Weightist.
that's body shaming. That's body shaming.
Well,
when we do deal with real struggles, they get their noses out of joint.
Yep.
mhm.
And and comics have done that, and these shows have done that, especially like He-Man and such, because they're being made to be morality tales for the youth.
Right.
At the end, you had that little thing. In today's story, you saw that, that Orko was trying to peek into the showers while Tila was bathing herself. But we have to remember, respect the boundaries, or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seemed cheesy. It seemed corny.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, it goes in the fact that these are our Aesop fables. These are our fairy tales. These are our myths and legends. And you don't understand any of it.
Well, they don't even it's getting aggravated again. They don't want to understand the whole thing about even they're like, oh, it's a damsel in distress, and that's all that character was. So characters like Sleeping Beauty, characters like Snow White, that's all they were, not the information that actually helped the prince, or not the just okay.
Well, when you have somebody like Rachel Zegler saying that the
Yes.
prince stalks Snow White and he's barely in the story,
Mm-hmm.
it just shows how uninformed they are.
Yes, always.
No, you're ignorant. You're ignorant. No.
Ignorant.
You're ignorant. I gotta find that one somewhere so we can have that.
We do have another gaming related article. I just thought I would go with the gaming articles first this time around.
Okay.
Well, why not?
And I just wanted to add one more thing that, well, what about, how does this guy feel about a lot of these female characters in Japanese anime beating up on the male characters?
He
and
probably gets excited about it.
But then the male characters continue to grow from this. So there's just so much more that people can process if they are willing to do that.
When you write a character and they actually go through some growth as a character where they have to learn how to defend themselves if they're wielding a lightsaber, for instance,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and you see them go through that journey like we saw Luke go through his journey from the original Star Wars all the way to Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's rewarding.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, we had that with the Tales of the Jedi comic series, not the bastardization Disney crap, where you followed the journey of Ulaquildroma. But his is a true tragedy because he's following the same. He's basically their version of Luke Skywalker, except he fails. But you see that journey that he has. You see the training. You see why he's doing it and why he ultimately fell. And you know what? Nomi Sunrider, she was the strong one. She was the one that went out there. She was the one that kicked ass. She's the one that went face to face with him. She's the one. I don't know. We got the little spoiler thing. But we'll have a little spoiler.
I still have it. I never got rid of it.
Okay. He's the one that took his Jedi powers away because he was because of what he did.
Mm-hmm.
That was the punishment. He was disconnected from the Force. One of the worst things you could do with a Jedi is forcibly disconnecting them from the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly.
And granted, the character did get redemption later on in their story, but you had that story. Again, the woman was strong, but we never had strong women in Star Wars.
Right. And I mean, before we get into this next article, like what characters you guys like that you've enjoyed who are females besides, Ripley and stuff? What other female characters do you enjoy, that are that you would say is the main cast member? Yeah, I'd say main cast member.
One of the characters I grew to love, and I can't really say grew to love, because I loved her immediately when you get that first introduction in Cisco's office was Major Kira in Emissary on DS9.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's a great female character. She's just a great character. It doesn't even matter if she's female or male. She's an interesting character. I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and even Dax. I mean, obviously a person that's got two mindsets, because she's got the symbiote as well as her own. I mean, just because she has a symbiote doesn't mean that Jazdia was gone.
Yeah.
And you got her sense of humor, her wisdom, everything. I mean, how many times did Cisco go to her for advice?
Yep. Right.
Many times.
Yeah, she wasn't one of my favorites, but yeah, I understand. She is important to this show. I get that.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Again, it's a strong character. Let's go back to He-Man universe. She-Ra.
Yes. Yeah, she's just.
When we're introduced to She-Ra, she's serving Hordak in the Horde.
Yeah.
As one of his generals for his army. And then she gets her sword of power, and it brings her back to the light. She's on the dark side, then she's brought back to the light.
Yep.
And she meets He-Man, finds out that He-Man is her brother.
Yeah, those are good choices. And Ivanova, of course, that Steve.
Yeah,
of course, what a great character she is.
Yeah, yeah.
And real quick, I do want to say hello to Bush McFadden.
What's up, Bush?
But go ahead, Baron.
Oh, what was I going to say there? But you know, the thing is She-Ra. No, well, Ivana was great, but going back to She-Ra, the show succeeded not because they got women, girl viewers. The same boys that were watching He-Man were watching that one as well. They didn't see a big rise in girls watching the show, but the boys stayed around.
Yeah, the boys stayed around, and guess what? Boys and girls, we all watched G.I. Joe, Real American Hero in the 80s. We watched Thundercats in the 80s. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Batman the Animated Series. We watched it all together. And we were all, pulled into the story.
It was all inclusive, even though they want to sit back and say it wasn't. It was.
Yeah, it's crazy to think like G.I. Joe is probably one of the most diverse shows we even had back then, which is very interesting.
Wait.
I know, right?
We weren't diverse back in the 80s, Casio. According to a lot of media outlets nowadays and certain corporations, we weren't diverse back in the 80s. No, 40 years ago, no.
Yeah. I mean, it was a shame too, because you had such black talent that never got a chance back in the 80s to make something themselves. No, Eddie Murphy was never able to become a box office big star. Bill Cosby was not able to bring us a family show. I mean, I know what he is now, but back then he was never able to have the top show that everybody was afraid to go against, except for The Simpsons.
Well, what about Sanford and Son? How popular that show was? The Jeffersons.
And Jed Sparks, of course, is right. He mentioned Power Rangers. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
You didn't watch it because it wasn't necessarily your cup of tea, not because they got a girl in there. Ew, cooties. I mean, I didn't like Teenage Mutant Turtles. I mean, not. I like Turtles. I mean, Power Rangers, because I just didn't like Power Rangers. But that had nothing to do with the fact that you had two women, and they basically regendered the one character, the yellow one, so they could have an extra added woman in there. Within the Japanese, that was a guy. Oh no! That made me so mad. I couldn't handle. No, I just didn't care for the show.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing written in stone saying that we have to like everything that everyone else likes.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not bashing it. I wouldn't think about bashing it, but it's like everyone has their cup of tea. Heaven forbid, there's people that don't like Babylon 5. They're wrong, but they don't like it.
You should have somebody. You should have somebody make a bumper sticker or a T-shirt that says, "If you don't like Babylon 5, you're wrong."
Yeah.
That's great.
Just as a joke.
Oh man, it's too funny.
Anybody could be a Power Ranger.
There's your first merch item right there, Mike. That the shirt right there. That should be Pop Talk. If you don't like Babylon 5, there's something
You're
wrong. With you. You're wrong. How dare you?
How dare you? All right. So getting into this Starfield article, let me just go ahead and share the link once again. And if I didn't share it before, well, I'm sharing it now. And I do apologize if I didn't share it before. And I do want to also say hello to Low Spec Linux Laptop over on the Rumble side. Yes, over on the Rumble side.
Hey, Rumbler.
And he says Babylon 5 greater than DS9. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Right. I like both.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more partial to Babylon 5, but I thought both were good shows. I mean, hey, you had a choice. You had variety.
And the fun thing was, is that in some markets, you got to see one show, and then you got to see the other show right after the other show ended.
Oh my God!
Those lucky bastards. That was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, yes, I did get to see Babylon 5 and then DS9.
Okay, that's why we don't. We hate you. We hate you. That was you. Talk about growing up with a silver spoon in your mouth. I tell you,
I can't help it. That's the way
he said. He went into the house, and there wasn't one TV. There were two TVs.
Two.
Yeah, my parents had one in their bedroom. Then we had one in the living room.
Yep, two TVs. Oh my God.
And then eventually I saved up my allowance money and bought my own TV.
Oh.
But I had to work to get that allowance.
He had to work.
It wasn't just handed to me.
Hey, I got the hand-me-down TVs, which is good because these are the
nothing wrong with that.
If they're good, man, and they work, that's all that matters. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, we talk about back in the day. I mean, TVs weren't cheap.
No. And one of the TVs we actually had in our house for a while was one of those big TVs that had the flat top where you could put your pictures or a plant or whatever on top of it.
The good old days. I miss TVs like that. I know it sounds silly to say, but I do.
Wasn't rich. Still not rich.
Yeah, Mike even had his own McDonald's in his house, like Rich.
No, if I wanted to go to McDonald's, I either had to get in my mom or dad's car with them because I didn't drive at the time, or get on my bike and ride to the McDonald's. Or
that's right.
If I wanted someplace a little closer, I'd still have to get on my bike or walk to it. Is go to the Jack in the Box or Taco Bell in our area.
Mike in the 80s had his big phone. He had sunglasses on. He said, "Hey, girl, coming over later, right?"
Yeah, there you go. And you know what? I forgot. That was wrong. It was an In-N-Out burger you had in your house. That's right. That's why you had to go out.
No, we had to wait a while before we actually got one of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Although my dad, anytime he had to do some training up in LA, so I went to In-N-Out. Yeah. Will you quit bragging about it, Dad?
Yeah. Where's my burger?
I had that burger, and I would give you guys some, but nah, I ate it all.
Yeah, it just I couldn't have the torture of it, knowing that it was going to be a demolish. I had to put it out of misery. It's my Billy.
Who likes to say In-N-Out's overrated? I don't know. Was that Crit? It was one of.
I don't know.
Who knows? It's okay.
I haven't had one in years because we don't have them in the area. I think last time I had one of those was down in Santa Fe, and that was way too many years ago.
His golden toilets. He shined them too, I heard.
Yeah. Well, it's like the episode of Taxi where Reverend Jim had the whole wall of TVs.
Man, dude, Taxi. That's cool. That's
a great show. That is still a great show.
That was Mike. He was like Reverend Jim. Okay, everyone. I'm going to watch all these TVs, and I'm going to make a time machine out of a DeLorean. Not a taxi cab, but a DeLorean. I'm taking fares. And then I'm going to have a bird of prey and have Kirk's son killed.
You know, Christopher Lloyd's always been one of my favorite actors. Whether it was
he's
Taxi
got a
or
lot of range.
Back to the Future and or
Mm-hmm.
Suburban Commando. I was frozen today.
After you see him in Back to the Future, you're just like, my gosh, this man has a lot of range. You know, his role in Who Framed Roger Rabbit and then Star Trek, you're just like, wow. Yeah.
Well, the first time I saw Christopher Lloyd outside of the role of Taxi of Reverend Jim was the Lone Ranger movie where he was the villain in there. And I was being, so see, that shows a range of an actor what he's able to do. Did we just blow the story out of the water with our ramblings?
I would hope not.
Hope not.
Well, you took it down.
No. Well, I took it down because we started talking about Christopher Lloyd and the different roles. So I thought, okay, since we're not talking about that right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know how we are. We derail all the time. It's like we never go according to the notes.
Not always, no.
No, it's
just that these articles, like they make our heads spin because it's like, no, it's not like that. Stop trying to think it is because it's ridiculous. I just love that whole part about, well, you have to put the story together. Oh no. Horrible.
That's what gaming's about when you have a story driven.
Gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I don't want things spoon fed to me. When I play a Dragon Quest game, for example, I don't want it spoon fed to me. When I play Final Fantasy, I want to learn about what's going on in the story. Oh, that's interesting. I don't want to be like, hey, here's everything in 10 minutes of the game. Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, and Bush is bringing up the live action Dennis and the Menace movie with Walter Matthau.
It's decent.
And Christopher Lloyd was in that. And
that's right. I forgot he was. Yeah, that was a decent movie, and it still followed what the cartoon is, though I still like the cartoon
and the comic strip.
The comic strip, yeah. But it was decent. It was decent for what it was.
In the 50s live action series too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. my grandmother on my dad's side liked the comic strips, and that's how I was introduced to Dennis the Menace. And then, of course, watching the cartoon, and then and you would see the old show come on. So,
yep.
Okay, Christopher Lloyd, we're done with you now.
Yeah, we are.
Back in your corner, Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, back in your corner now.
Hold on, but we got a
clear time machine.
Yeah, we got a clip
with
my calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Yes.
One of my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great clip.
So we have this article coming to us from Gaming Bolt, and it was posted by Ravi Sinha. It was posted on the 24th, so not too long ago.
No.
And it's talking about Starfield and saying Starfield could be in trouble as player numbers plummet, even with commercial and critical success. Bethesda's long-awaited sci-fi RPG is falling off quicker than its predecessors. I will say this about Starfield. I like the space combat, but it's the ground combat I'm a little perturbed about. I don't think the controls are as refined in the ground combat as they are in the space combat.
And I think your complaint has been shared with a lot of people on that.
And I get the
So
whole argument also about how, the game should be a lot better, and it shouldn't be a lot better a year later. And I'm like, I get that. I do.
Mhm.
Why do people have to wait? It's the same thing with Pokemon. I mean, Violet and Scarlet, they're fun games, but technically they have some problems, and and it's like, oh, it's a year later, oh, the game's a lot better, but it's still stuttering a little bit. It's like,
Well, I mean, when it comes around like the Starfield, it hasn't been a year since it's been out.
No, it
And
has.
you
no, it only
and
came out
they've
in September.
right, and they've also sat back and made mention that they have plans for expanding the stories and other things in there, and hopefully have the other complaint. We want vehicles.
Yes,
Yeah,
you've got to have vehicles as
Right.
another option. You
we
just got
need
to.
ground vehicles in the game.
Yes.
And for a Bethesda game, you just got to say this: it's pretty solid for what they put out there. For people who are used to what Bethesda does, in the past, especially Fallout 76. So I don't believe this story. I mean, what was it you said, Cash, before we went on? It's like still number 4 on Steam.
Something 5. I don't know. It was. I think it's still a bestseller on Steam. I'll check right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it's on sale, like you said, it's over there. I may have to think about it.
I mean, it's got. I don't know. It's not got the best positive user reviews, unfortunately, but that doesn't always mean anything.
Well, a lot of people were putting that out before too. It's like because you have the anti-Bethesda. I haven't seen even the person who's writing this is anti-Bethesda. Fine, you're anti-Bethesda. Great. You don't like them. Great, but settle down.
Yeah.
Settle down a little bit there.
It's at Mix, but you know what also was at Mix that we bought? Myth Force. We've been having fun with that game, so
right. And you read what you read what their problems were. It's like, well, that's the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They never had any of that. It's not like you're going in with eyes wide shut. It's there.
But yeah, I just feel, all this stuff can be improved. I feel there's certain things of Beargate 3 that can be improved. I feel Spider-Man 2, 2 games right there that are have sold very well, I guess. I don't know the exact numbers. They said recently, was it 5 million copies was sold, but how many of them returned it? I don't know, but I'm just saying they can all be better, because once again, we've seen better. So Starfield can be better, but I also understand the argument. Why isn't certain things better right now when the game launches? Why do we have to wait a year? I get that too. Yeah.
Yep. Well, it says the months leading up to Starfield and its launch were an event. Whether you were a fan of Bethesda Game Studios titles or following the industry, Bethesda's first new IP in over 20 years, a massive sci-fi space RPG with over 1,000 planets, the latest directorial effort from the mind behind The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, and Fallout 4. All this and more pervaded the conversations around Starfield. It's the first Bethesda Game Studios title to launch on day one for Game Pass, opening up to a much larger audience than before. However, being an Xbox Series XS exclusive, or you could just get Game Pass and download it and try it that way.
Yep.
It was also viewed as a big deal for Microsoft, who had struggled over the past few years to deliver high-profile exclusive despite its many blockbusters. Initial impressions from fans and critics were positive. Our review, like many others, praised the title for its exploration, shipbuilding, space combat skill, atmosphere, and improved visuals. Sure, there are some shortcomings with the combat and extensive loading screens. Yeah, see, even they have their gripes with the ground combat.
Yeah.
But that sense of Bethesda wonder was seemingly intact. Even accounting for varying tastes, the title earned an 86 Metascore on PC among 78 critic reviews. and an 83 Metascore on Xbox Series XS based on 90 reviews, both respectable totals.
Yeah.
Yep.
To nearly 3 months later, and Starfield is discussed for entirely different reasons. It's gone from a very positive rating on mostly positive and now mixed. Out of 76,611 user reviews, 69% are positive, and from the most recent reviews, only 51%. It says on Metacritic, Starfield's user score is currently 7.0 on Xbox Series XS. It's on 11,100 ratings. The PC user score is even more worrying at 5.6 from 6,715 ratings. Those who played Cyberpunk 2077 at launch will no doubt remember something similar. It started fairly positive before its user reviews slowly plummeted. Of course, just as with CD Projekt Red's Opus at the time, there was the belief that ratings were ultimately irrelevant. After all, if the player counts were strong, the game was doing something right for a large subsection of its audience, right? Starfield peaked at 330,723 concurrent players on Steam on August 31st. Pretty good compared to previous Bethesda titles. Skyrim peaked at 287,411 when it first launched. All right, so it goes on to say when it first launched, especially when it's also available on Game Pass. However, that's when early access started. The concurrent player count has gradually declined ever since. It's now at a 24-hour peak of 22,152 players, right below the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition's 23,098 players. Yes, the latter is technically 7 years old. However, considering how many have shifted from the base Skyrim released about 12 years ago, that Starfield is struggling to beat its predecessor is concerning. At least it's doing better than Fallout 4, which had a 24-hour peak of 15,184 players, though its all-time peak of 472,962 players is above and beyond the spacefaring RPG. While concurrent player numbers on Xbox aren't available, a quick peek at the most played games on the console see Starfield in 15th, just ahead of Halo Infinite. Remember that the latter's reputation took a beating through the years for many reasons and has slowly been repaired thanks to numerous updates and new content. Maybe it's because there are new games. That's certainly a factor. And Starfield is a single, excuse me, a single player title, also competing against various free to play and live service multiplayer games. However, Baldur's Gate 3 launched a month before it on PC and is still the fifth most played game on Steam, with a 24-hour peak of 125,585 players. Cyberpunk 2077 may have seen a major new update and a paid expansion, Phantom Liberty, but that was in September. It's sitting at 23rd in the most played game chart on Steam with a 24-hour peak of 36,246. Starfield is currently in 43rd place behind games like Elden Ring, Valheim, Stardew Valley, and Terraria. What's going on? Are players going to Skyrim because they're tired of Starfield? Are they looking at the former as a palate cleanser? Maybe just approaching other games to take a break? That's one way to look at it. You could argue that Skyrim and even Fallout 4 have more mods, which help broaden the experience and provide new features. However,
Mhm.
and at the first year for the base version of Skyrim and Fallout 4, their drops in concurrent players are nowhere near as drastic as Starfield's over the past 3 months. It could just be that folks are finding other games to play in between playing Starfield. I've been playing RoboCop. I've been having a lot of fun playing RoboCop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to get that game. It looks great.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The finished version. Mwah. I know what I said about the demo. I know. I own it. I own it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the controls in the demo.
I was trying to talk Mike off the ledge. Easy, Mike. It's going to be better. Trust me. It's going. No, it's not.
No, I wasn't crying. I was more like a Klingon. Yeah, do not show me dishonor where there should be greatness.
What did they do to Murphy?
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Your move, creep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the one thing is this year has had a lot of big things hit. You had the StarCraft, obviously. You had Beargate. You have this, RoboCop. What was the other one that came up that was really exciting? People were excited for it. I can't remember. But I mean, you had a lot of them that came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make a confession. I haven't been playing Starfield lately. Or many other games. I've just had a lot of stuff in my life. It's not that I don't like it or anything. It's just like, okay, I need to find some time to actually decompress, sit down, and play these freaking games because of the insanity around us. And let's hope, knock on wood, that we have a little calm period here at Tag Cottage.
Yeah. I mean, just this last month alone, you've been going through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This article continues by saying among several players, even the most diehard who have hundreds of hours in the game, there's a strong sentiment that Starfield doesn't offer the same Bethesda magic of exploration. That feeling of picking a direction and traveling forth, discovering all kinds of wonders, whether it's a side quest, a random event, a dungeon, or something unique, is simply missing. Starfield's exploration is more segmented to alternates between handcrafted content in the major cities like New Atlantis and Neon and randomly generated content on other planets. Some find the faction quest story and companions don't match up to previous Bethesda game studios' effort. Never mind more contemporary games. Meanwhile, the randomly generated content begins to overstay its welcome once you see the same outposts and events on different planets, regardless of the circumstances. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Star Trek Online. I used to play that game each and every day when I got home from work as a way of winding down from the workday when the game came out. Now, I don't even touch the game.
I was actually thinking about firing it up the other day to see what's going on in there. But yeah, I mean, they've become, what would you say, too formulaic in many things. It's just, and you know what? A lot of, the people that complain about Myth Force, about being, quote unquote, so
so repetitive
over and over again. Yeah. Well, but they'll run over the Star Trek Online, and it's like, oh, look, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know what? Every game has that curse.
They can, yeah, they definitely can.
And it happens especially when you play the game every day.
Oh yeah, you notice that you take a break. That's why I was wanting to kind of go back and see what's going on with Star Trek Online, because it's been probably a couple months since I've been on there. But I got stuff I've never paid for anything on there. But I got some good stuff I earned. But I think one of the problems too that you have with Starfield is people are wanting a Star Wars type game and they're getting more of a Star Trek type game.
Hmm.
It's slower. It's you're not necessarily always going into combat all the time. It's more than that. You're negotiating, and what would this game be if they had a multiplayer in there? Like what they did with GTA 5, where you have the main storyline, then you had the multiplayer.
Yeah, and that is one of the game's biggest downfalls, is not having a multiplayer function.
Right. I mean, I don't want this to be completely. I want to have it where you can do the storyline.
That is true. Yeah, and you can or do the storyline with other people. I know Yes, it's one of the things that I feel about Dragon's Dogma too. It's like this game looks like a lot of fun, but it is also single player, and this seems like something that should be multiplayer as well. That doesn't mean it should be just all multiplayer. There should just be an option to. It'll still be fun, I'm sure, but it would be even more fun to play with a buddy or play with a few buddies.
Right.
I mean, imagine if it was up to 4 players online. Well, let's just say 4 players. Keep it small.
Yep.
Imagine what you'd be able to do in the space areas alone. Go to different destinations, or if you run across an enemy ship, you all come up with a strategy on how you're gonna bring that ship to its knees, basically.
Right. Yeah, and the way it's built, I mean, I would hope at some point they do put in. I don't think Bethesda has any desire to do it, but I think with the game, the way it's built, it seems like it's perfect for multiplayer and single player. So you have both. Yeah.
Best of both worlds.
Right. I think they have their cards to their vest. We really don't know fully what they're planning on. It's like, okay, let's put this out and see how people are liking this. Let's get feedback. And they probably have some iron if they're smart, and I have a feeling they are. They've learned their lessons from previous. We got some irons in the fire, and by hearing what people are saying, this is what we'll probably do because we want to make money.
Yeah.
We got the stigma we need to erase.
Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and the thing is they even made mention that this is going to be more of a methodical game. They had nothing about what the game is about, and if people went in there expecting the game to be something else, well, that's your fault.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's just a lot of stuff, though. Guys, we've seen in the past what greatness is. It doesn't matter if it's old technology or whatever, but we've seen greatness, and in gaming, I would like to see that greatness again. I think Nintendo, while they do make mistakes, they're doing some things right. I think Nintendo and Microsoft, personally, both of them, could do a lot better. I know that they can put out greatness because I've seen them put out greatness, but it's like, yeah, okay, you guys got Ragnarok, you got Spider-Man 2, and even though I make fun of this stuff, I can't sit there and say there isn't a game. I'll tell Crit 100,000 times when I've watched him play Beargate 3 that there's a game in there. There's a lot of game in there, which I understand people like with the dice and the turn base, but there's also stuff in there that, for me personally, I just don't think needed to be in there, and I can't change my mind about that.
Well, yeah,
and you don't have to change your mind about it.
No, I know. It's the same thing I feel with Spider-Man 2. Now, is it possible in the future I may end up buying that game? Sure, but it will never be for $70. It would maybe be for, I don't know, $40 or less. Because I don't see that as a $70 game. Everything that I've seen about that game does not tell me, oh, this is a full price game. And I just don't see it. I really believe that there is some agenda trash in that game that doesn't belong. And people can argue with me all they want, to call me stupid names, whatever, but that's just how I feel about it. And I'm not going to change the way I feel about it. I think the Spider-Man...
Why should you?
Exactly.
If you have watched something, played something, and because of that experience, you've seen things that stick out like a sore thumb to you, and you're going to point those things out, then why should you change your opinion?
Yep, and I would rather give people advice and saying, look, guys, I know you like this game, but just get the Spider-Man 2018, man, or get other fighting games. Like some of the directions they're taking, even the fighting games, like too much microtransactions or something. Like there's other older games that you guys that people can buy that are just as fun or even better.
Well, we have a generation that's brainwashed into thinking if it's an older game, it's not worth our time.
Right.
It's gonna be worth. The gameplay is gonna be horrible. The graphics are gonna be horrible. They come up with all these little excuses why they shouldn't, and why games today are so much better. Which they can't really make that comparison because they haven't played the other ones. What made these games great? Oh, and don't be so hard on yourself, Cash, by the way. Even when we agree with you, we still call you names and such.
So, hey, I do that too.
Yeah.
I call you names also.
yeah. Even when we agree with you, it's like, yeah, I agree with you, but you're still
You're still a golf club wielding guy in Fullerton running down the street yelling.
We got Doc Pop running around in his wheelchair trying to run kids over, and then you got Baron, who's he's like, "Hey, you want some candy?" And then for some reason these people vanish. We don't know why.
Cash. You did the wrong thing. If Russell Davies or whatever the frig his name, he'd sit back and say how horrible you are for putting people who have handicaps as the villain. We gotta get rid of that stigma. We gotta get rid of that stigma.
We just
well, that's the next story.
But anyways, no, we just we're insensitive jackasses. Where's our clip? How many jackasses do we
I mean, honestly, when this Dark Forces remaster comes out. Honestly, how many of the newer gamers are even going to give it a look? I mean, you're going to have the Disney fans going, "Well, that's not real canon stuff. I don't want to play that. Where's Andor and Ursula and all these others?"
Do people actually say that? I haven't even paid attention to that.
You're going to have people that do that.
I guess some people would, yeah.
Well, they don't. You read the article. Well, this happened, but it's not canon, so it doesn't matter. You just read some of the stuff that some of these people write about with Star Wars and what happened with the U, and they write with disdain. And it's like, you guys are mental midgets.
Oh, they always do. Well, yeah. Well, those Gears games, if you like that type of stuff, Padawannabe is fun. GTA 5 has a great campaign. I know I saw a comment earlier about how, the only good thing about the campaign is Trevor, which I do not agree with, and I think is a stupid comment. But and Star Wars Fallen Order, I think is pretty fun though. I want more quality Star Wars games, and I was talking with some other people the other day that they can just do so much more. So I think Star Wars Outlaws should let you make your own character. I really do.
Right.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, when you had the games, even Lucas starts like Rogue Squadron. That one game you could be when you're playing Rookie 1, you could either play it as a guy or a gal.
Rogue Squadron, was that the one? Yeah, that was one, I think.
Yeah.
It might have been a different one, but yeah.
Yeah. Rogue Squadron, I think, I just got a middle block in the knee. But I mean, you could choose if you want to be a guy or a girl, and they even had the voice actors and all that changed to whatever decision you made. And this is back when? This is the 90s? We didn't do stuff like that. We hate women in Star Wars.
We're the He-Man Woman Haters Club, aren't we? That's what I've always been told.
Of course.
He-Man.
I do want to say hello to the Padawannabe, and Low Spec Linux Laptop has joined us on YouTube as well.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, no, there's a lot of fun stuff you can play. I mean, even if someone say, "Oh, wow, that game is like Orange and stuff." Yeah, but what about the gameplay? The gameplay is still awesome. I mean, you go back and play old Civilization. You go back and play old Command and Conquer.
Right.
It's just, the thing is, we're not still getting the greatness that as fans, as consumers, we deserve. But there is some interesting things. If you like Jet Set Radio, there's Cyber Bomber Funk. can't remember the name of it. There is some violence in there, and Jet Set Radio, there really was no violence like that, but it's just like a tribute to something like Jet Set Radio, and it made people happy, and that's awesome. The people who like those games, and we just, they have these franchises, and people are like, can we get them back, man? Can we get them back? And these companies just keep saying no, and they just continue to leave money on the table. It's crazy to me. It really is.
And then they'll go and scream that, oh, they're stealing my livelihood because they took a game that was from the 1990s that's not available no more, and they put it on there. They're sailing the high seas, and we got to do something about it. Bitch, please, it's not available. How can it be stealing money out of your pocket or food off your kid's table?
I want to see real quick, guys.
Go ahead. Yep.
We have almost 22 people watching in combination with YouTube and Rumble, and I do want to say thank you to each and every one of you who is watching right now. And if you're liking what you're seeing, please post a comment in the chat section.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
We're so thankful that you people are such masochists. You want to sit around and listen to us. So.
Just we want to say that, just whenever people tell you that I want less options, don't listen to them. Say, I want more options in my games, in my, when I'm driving a car, other things. Like, you don't have to go crazy, but just in general, more options is always the better direction.
Right.
So,
well, as an old time tabletop RPGer, right? I look at Stargate. Not Stargate, but Starfield here. What you got was basically the player's guidebook, and you got the Games Master handbook there. That's it, right? That's the base. Just like, when you go out to the store and they come out with it, basically all you have is like the core rule books. This is the core rule books. Now let's see what they do with modules and updates.
Right.
The revisions to rules and such like that. That's the way I look at it, which means, you got to persevere a little bit and say, okay, let's see what's going on. Got to give your feedback. Hope that they want to listen to what I'm saying, what we like and don't like. Respectfully, of course. Just don't want to go out there and be a jackhole.
Right.
But that's how I look at Starfield. I think that's how all of us should look at Starfield. Because it's a brand new uncharted territory, and it's like, let's see where this takes us. Is this going to be something that we do want to invest a lot more into? We invested a hell of a lot. What direction we want to do? We want to do this right. Like I said, I think Bethesda learned this lesson. I really do.
I think so. I do see people are still having some bug problems, but I don't think as many as some of the older Bethesda games. And I found out that game was Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. So if you like something like Jet Set Radio, you'll probably like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. And it seemed like a game that was never going to come out, and it did. So it made a lot of people happy on Steam. So that's awesome.
Did it make you happy?
It's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, and even, looking at some of the other notes of this article, the author's even noting that, even if they release DLC for Starfield, that's not a guarantee that the game's going to get more players to play it. And they're also saying that they're not even saying the game's not a success. It is a success if it's already sold 11 million copies.
Right. And absolutely right. The DLC could bomb big time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen it before. I mean, just like modules and role-playing games. It's like, what the hell is this module? This module is crap.
Yep.
And it's the risk that happens. Is it going to work? Did it look good on paper? Now the execution sucks. So you always got that risk. We just hope for the best.
Yeah.
Always hope for the best and anticipate the worst in some cases.
In some cases, yes.
And I'm not a Bethesda shill, but I do enjoy the Fallout games. Obviously, I got into those games after a lot of the problems got fixed there, so I didn't have to go through the rage hate that people had legitimately for all the brokenness. So I'm pleased. It's like, well, with what they put out, the bug count is almost comparable to most other companies when they bring a game out, and there's always going to be a bug. You just got to sit back and say, hey, we got a problem over there. Okay, thank you. We can hopefully fix it.
Yeah. You should get it, Jet. It's a really fun game. Like I said, if you enjoy Jet Set Radio, you should definitely get it.
You jet setter.
All right, so as far as Starfield is concerned, it is a kind of game that it's going to excite a lot of people because of what it does offer. But for others, it's not going to offer enough for them to keep on playing.
Right. And that's any game.
Yep.
That's the curse of any game. You get a game, you think it's going to be this way, and it doesn't deliver. Let's look at E.T.
Oh God, dude! Let's go way back to Atari.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just E.T. It was also the Pac-Man and even Superman game that they had.
Oh God!
People don't want to even talk about the Superman game, but the Superman game was kind of similar to the E.T. game.
What about the Indiana Jones game? That was rough too, man.
Yeah. I mean, you had Parker Brothers and Activision that was actually putting out stuff that was helping keep things alive with Atari, but Atari rushed some things themselves, so they had some issues.
They did, but then
it happens.
Then you had stuff like Keystone Capers. I mean, that was a fun game. It was just this little simple game, but it was fun. Jungle Hunt was a fun game. Tank Battle was a fun game, and it's simple, but it's still fun. Yes, it was.
Yeah, Pitfall. And of course, you had basically the first computer RPG game I played, and that was Adventure. I saved my pennies up for that game.
Oh, dude, I liked Adventure a lot.
Yeah, and even my daughter, because I had one of those. I mean, I still have my Atari, but it hasn't been hooked up to a TV in decades. But I got one of those, the joystick, and it has all the games in there. And they had Adventure. And even my daughter loved playing Adventure. Yep. And it's like, cool. It's like this generation, and you can't get more basic with some of the graphics in that game.
No, you can't. And so, and it's funny to me also with the whole argument about, people are such Debbie Downers and stuff. Well, it's just because the industry keeps doing this to them. It's just like they take the knife and they see how far they can twist it in their back. It's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so they automatically assume, well, you know what? This is gonna be a problem.
Right. Yeah. And I like to sit back and say, hey, we're pretty good at that. We, even with the story, it's like, no, there is gold in them Starfield. You just gotta persevere. If it's not your type of game, fine. It's not your type of game. But
it's just like Cuphead. Cuphead's not everybody's favorite game.
Cuphead
either.
is one of the hardest games probably to come out in a number of years, I would think.
Mike's favorite game. Mike's favorite game because he is expected to die. It's like, this is my game. I don't have to feel bad about dying.
I'm having fun about playing that game. If I wasn't having fun, I wouldn't keep playing it. I wouldn't keep streaming it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Low Spec mentioned Zork. Wow, that's going back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Zork. Hey, I even have on the bookshelf here, someone wrote a novel to the game Zork and has a foreword by Harlan Ellison in it. I got to sit down and seriously sit down and read it. Yeah. But yeah.
I will, I tell people too, like there's just been some great games out there with some amazing stories, and you can take a lot of inspiration from those games. Final Fantasy, a lot of stuff. It just depends what you like. Even things like Max Payne 1 and 2. I still think 3 is a quality game too. This whole thing about the revenge story, what happens to his family, it's just the way it plays out is very interesting. And with Max Payne coming back, you just don't know what they're going to do with it. With Grand Theft Auto coming in, and it's funny when media's like, we're all anticipating Grand Theft Auto 6. Are we though?
I know there are.
I mean, we've had 10 years of Grand Theft Auto 5. At this point, are we anticipating the next installment of the series, or are we just gonna get to the point where we're burned out in the series, or we don't even care?
Yeah, I mean, what are you guys going to do? You're going to have to somehow invent the wheel in a way. Are you going to allow us to go into more stores online, for example, more buildings? That would be cool. Are you guys going to allow us to make a cool looking character, or are they all going to look like the garden gnome of the
Well, more
out
importantly, are
there
you
in the
going to?
yard? Yeah.
I mean, and this is something I have a problem with Star Trek Online too. It's like, are you going to let us be able to decorate our houses the way we wanted to decorate them, right?
Yeah.
So they're not cookie cutter. That they don't always look the same. Just like I would love when you're on Star Trek Online, you have your ship and you have your captain quarters and such. I'd love to be able to go in there and you can actually use all the seats and you can decorate it the way you want. You can put things
That'd be
up.
pretty cool,
If you
man.
win awards or whatever or accolades,
Yeah.
you can have like a little thing there with your medals or what. But
That
no,
would be cool. Yeah.
it's like, then why do we even have the interior of the ship?
Right. Good
It's
point.
superfluous.
Good point. Yep.
Here's the thing too about Star Trek Online. The game's 13 years old and it's showing its age.
Oh
Yeah.
And what I would love for the developers to do is to give the game a new refresh.
It would,
With a
it would
new
be
engine.
nice. Yes, and like Low Spec just mentioned, if you guys haven't played No One Lives Forever, you got to play it. If you like
I
first-person
haven't played it yet.
shooters,
No, I
it's
haven't. No.
those games are really good, both of them. A
But
lot of
I
fun.
got to give
challenging to an extent. Yeah.
Yeah. But you got to give a little bit of points to Star Trek Online. They have at least been going in there and re-rendering the ship models. The Constitution class refit looks like it. The Miranda class looks like it. I mean, the models are looking beautiful now compared to what they were before. Now let's get the rest of the things. I mean, the interiors of the ship look ridiculous by the size, unless you have a special, like the Galaxy class one or what. But even with the Galaxy class interiors, it'd be nice to be able to rearrange them. Change the display on it, because you might want to use it for another ship that's similar, like or you still want to have a little bit of uniqueness to your ship.
Yeah, exactly. Be able to incorporate different bridge consoles instead of having the horseshoe on a Galaxy class ship for a tactical. Maybe add 2 or 3 different consoles. One specifically for tactical, and then the others could be for sensors and battle tactics. And
right, and then in the ready room too. It's like have those nice in be able to do that and put your own uniqueness to it, because we've seen in Star Trek that each ship did have a little bit of uniqueness for that reflected the crew in the ship itself.
Exactly. And I know someone's going to say, but you can do some of that to an extent. Yeah, you can take one of the Good Things Enterprise bridge layout and put that onto your ship, or you can decide how big or how narrow your corridors are going to be. But some of the things in Star Trek Online are just static. You have your static corridors and your static ready rooms.
Right.
You want to be able to add your own flair, like you're saying, Baron.
Right. Even the 10 forward lounge or whatever. I mean, and they're so ridiculously sized too. It's like, okay, I'm going to be in an Oberth class, a little teeny scout, but yet you have these huge rooms. It's like, no.
The bridge on an Oberth class starship is bigger than the rest of the ship.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but you get the point.
Yeah. And another thing I wish is, it's great. They have like the Voyager interior. You can have it both before and after it gets sent to the Delta Quadrant. You have the Defiant interiors, which is great. You do have the Galaxy class interior, which is great. You do have the classic Enterprise interior, and it's great. But they're all static. And when you get to the generic ones they don't compare. They look so garbage. It's like, why are the hallways so huge in here? Like you're an ant in the land of giants. Yeah. And why did you not come out with a classic era motion picture interior where you could have the motion picture and the Wrath of Khan bridge if you wanted, and of course the corresponding interiors as well? They should have done that for the anniversary of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. That would have been fantastic.
Well, you know what I wish they would do, although I know they probably wouldn't do this, but when you're actually looking at things on your own ship, You know,
Mhm.
you're on the interior view of your ship. That should be completely first person, in my
Right.
opinion. So you can
Mhm.
actually look at your console readouts and maybe, look at a display that displays your last mission log, and you see
Right.
your most recent missions displayed. And
Mhm. I would love to be in charge of Star Trek Online. I would love to, because these are some of the things I sit back and say, okay, let's mix it up a little bit. We've been
Mhm.
stagnant. This has been saying, yeah, sure, great. You brought that V'ger story in where you can kick Wesley's ass, which I have to finish, by the way. And that's about the only reason why you want to play it, so you can kick that little Weasley face's ass. The character, YouTube, the character. Uh, so, and but still, and which looked good and all that, but still, they do need to do, I think, some overhauling, and also change their characters. Get the graphics of the characters better.
Mhm. And maybe, try to bring in someone like Avery Brooks to voice Cisco.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if he'd want Patrick Stewart, because he doesn't sound like how you want Patrick Stewart to sound as Picard anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm
I'm
very
so very
sorry.
sorry. Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, but we need Picard to apologize here.
And then
Mhm.
and then we tell Picard that he's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They tell him he's wrong. Then they tell him, "Oh, you know what, Picard, we were wrong." I'm like, you guys are just ridiculous.
Well, you get accolades for every time you tell Picard he's wrong.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so
But-
very sorry.
And I think it's great that you do have a storyline that starts out in the classic Star Trek era, but they force you. There's not much to do there, and it's basically a springboard to launch you into the other universe. But I'd almost be tempted to say, hey, no, we have the engine, we got a lot of these models, we have a lot of this stuff. Let's do eras. Let's do the classic era, and maybe be able to have that classic era move into the motion picture. Yeah, it'll be its own server, because it's not going to go into the with the other one, because obviously there's situations that don't cross over. But now you're starting to get everybody.
Mhm.
You're starting to cater to a lot of people. Nostalgia, and it's amazing what rebound are you going to get?
Well, here's another thing you could do too, Baron. Is, say you want to go from the classic era Trek, and as the timeline goes along, you get into that Star Trek Phase 2
Mm-hmm.
part of Star Trek before
Right.
it gets into the motion picture era.
Right. Exactly. And that can be done via the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know if you'd be able to get William Shatner to come back, but wouldn't it be great if you were able to get the Shat one last time doing a voiceover as Kirk?
That'd be awesome. I mean, they did it for Star Trek Legacy.
Yeah.
That came out in 2005, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
They got Shat. It wasn't somebody trying to sound like Shat. It was the Shat.
Right. Mm-hmm. How great would that be? One last hurrah for us, because he's 91. I mean, he still seems to be in good health, but unfortunately, he's not going to be around forever. Let's have one last hurrah, and that'd be a best place to do it in Star Trek Online.
Star Trek Online. What? Go on one more adventure with the only Captain Kirk that you need.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And are you guys ready to see the box office numbers?
Yeah.
Before we go in there, I just want to put one last thing. It gave us one last chance to be with Renee Auberjonois.
It did. It did, with the anniversary for DS9 and.
Mm-hmm. It gave us one last hurrah with Renee Auberjonois, and
Renee
even Nog too.
Yeah, Aaron Eisenberg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, at least we had those last hurrahs with those people, but and of course Spock's voiceover.
Yeah, Leonard Nimoy. Congratulations, Captain.
Mm-hmm.
And even in some of the earlier stories, you hear Leonard Nimoy's narration.
Right.
I hope they never get rid of that.
No. It just permeates the soul too much.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've got the weekend box office, and I'll share the link one more time because I know it's been a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, where's
Yay!
That can't be right, Mike. That can't be right. I don't see the Marvels on there.
Oh, ouch!
Oops.
Oh, you talk about failing.
Well, you want to know something ridiculous, and I'm sorry if this might offend people. It's not meant to, but they're going out hailing this as a great victory because you had a woman of color that directed this film, and this is this has been the most money that was made for a black woman directing a film, but yet it still flopped.
It did, yeah.
Well,
I don't think that's something
throwing people under the bus.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's something you want to celebrate.
No, but they will.
They will.
Well, they have to find something.
Mm-hmm. They always do.
I like what Anonymous said here. The Marvels went on Thanksgiving break and forgot to come back.
They're in a turkey coma.
So, the Hunger Games, which you saw, Cash, and you actually said it was pretty good, and it followed the book closely.
Yeah, but that's
don't lie.
No, it actually was pretty good, but I'm not.
Cash said behind scene. This is what Cash said behind scene.
It stinks.
Really?
I thought it was pretty good. I was surprised that Snow had. The one thing I didn't like is the kids in high school, their outfits. They had this kind of dress thing. I don't know if that was in the novels, but it kept bothering me. I know it's small, but it was like, I don't like what these kids are wearing in school. Like, why do they have this like dress thing the guys do? I don't like it. Then they got some kind of suit thing, whatever. It looked better, but I didn't like Rachel Ziegler in that movie very much. I think it's her attitude, what she's been saying recently, and so when I see her on screen, it's like,
well, it transcribes onto your acting too. When you think you're the shit and you're not.
Right, exactly. But the guy who played Snow, who I don't know if he's more of a newcomer, his origin story was quite interesting. Viola Davis, though, her acting I thought was over the top, and I've enjoyed her in Fences with Denzel Washington. And I know that woman can act, but sometimes I just wish she would act better like a human being. Yeah, I said it, YouTube. Come get me.
We're racking up the shadow bans like mad today.
That's right.
Please send all your complaints to Cash Money 007, care of the Phantom Hooligans.
Please, the hooligans, yes.
I'm kidding, Cash. I'm kidding.
No, I know that. I'm
not.
The parents not kidding. I'm
going
all in.
I don't want them. Send it to him.
No, as I said, I was surprised, but is this movie gonna find a way to break even? I don't know. People actually did clap, and half the theater was full. My brother and I were amazed. I didn't think many people were going to show up at night, and half the theater was full, and they clapped at the end of the movie. I was like, wow, crazy.
And hello to old man. Glad to see you here. Glad you're back home. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, he's doing better. Cranky as usual.
But I can't push myself to watch the Marvels. I can't do it. It's the same way I felt about. I don't care how much money Barbie made. I just cannot push myself to watch that. I just feel it's going to be.
Come on, Cash. We know you're like this. We know that you're saying this now that you can't see it, but then we're going to find out that you went and saw it, and when we ask you why...
I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain.
I need my pain. I kept banging my head on a chair
We'll find
while
out
watching. Why is this happening?
It was a lazy day, and Cash is sitting there in his underwear in a beanbag chair watching the Marvels.
throwing a
Eating
chip
Cheetos.
of bag at the TV. Why is this happening? Why?
Give me my cheesy poofs.
Why doesn't Brie Larson have an ass? She's got a feet, but she doesn't have an ass.
So the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Well, it sounds like politics.
Yeah.
Our
There's
Pop Talk.
definitely politics in there. Yep.
Has made 28 million this past weekend, but it has a worldwide total right now of 154 million. I guess that's not bad.
That's okay.
Napoleon made 20.4 million. I went and saw it. I enjoyed it. I know there's going to be parts in the movie where history buffs are going to go, no, that didn't happen that way. And that never happened.
But yeah, Braveheart and all that. But now we know why you came in today's show with that Napoleon complex. I see now. That was a movie, not a guidebook, Mike.
I mean, the budget for the Songbird movie was like 100 million, so it's done okay. I guess it's done better than it's done okay.
So for Napoleon's opening weekend, he did not divide and conquer, but he did make 20 million, and the movie itself has made 78 million worldwide.
How did it do in France?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, that is
in France.
And Disney's latest animated feature, Wish. Well,
they had one.
Yes, they had one. It made 19 million. Disney, you're not having the best of luck this year, are you?
Is it not?
My goodness, the budget for Napoleon was 200 million. Yikes!
Yeah.
Well, man, it's got a while to try to get that money back.
Mm-hmm. Now, was this a Disney Pixar or just plain Disney?
Plain Disney.
Oh yeah, okay.
The Wish budget was 200 million. Ouch.
Ooh. Yeah.
Ouch.
See, and it's something that we've mentioned before, especially this year with the past summer movies. You know, a lot of these movies are having problems making their budget back because it's been 200, 3 million, 400 $1 million budgeted movies.
Yeah, dumping too much money into making a movie, honestly. Yeah. And you lose creativity when you have all this money.
Man, dude, these 200 million for Wish, and it only made this weekend 19 million. Ouch.
Yeah.
Why? What?
Here,
honestly, why is an animated film? Because I know they used a lot of CGI in this, right? We were told that CGI was supposed to make things a hell of a lot cheaper. Then why is this film so freaking expensive? Why are any of these CGI films so expensive?
I would think also it's the actors' paychecks as well that would probably make the budget go higher.
Maybe, but maybe you should start thinking about getting voice actors instead of a name actor who is not a voice actor to do it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You don't have to get. I'm sure Chris Pine wasn't cheap, but he doesn't seem to come off as somebody like he has his head too far up his ass. As far as he doesn't seem to come off that way, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't know anything about the guy, other than the fact that his father was the head of the CHP
and Chips.
Yeah,
which my dad actually did get to meet Robert Pine one time. As they were talking, my dad flipped out his CHP badge. He's like, "You're a real one."
I bet. That's cool. Yeah.
But Trolls Band Together for this weekend made 17.5 million. It made 30 million.
That's the Phil McCracken movie? That's the Phil McCracken movie, right?
Yes, that's the one written, directed, and produced by Phil McCracken.
What is this, like the fourth Trolls movie now or something?
I don't know. I don't keep track of the Trolls movies. They're off my radar.
Yeah, and they are off mine too.
I've never really gotten into them. So,
and then the new horror film Thanksgiving. Although you could say that Thanksgiving on any year when you get the family together.
Yeah, this one was a little bit of a hell. Wasn't an old man, but at least we did get it done on Saturday. Actually, I thought it was better that we did it yesterday, our Thanksgiving meal. I think it was a lot better, a lot more relaxed, in my opinion. Even though I was stupid and accidentally mixed the wrong medications with alcohol.
Oh,
I will
no.
admit I was an idiot. Oh, yeah.
Whoops.
I took something that had a couple glasses of wine, and then
Yeah,
all of a
and
sudden
then-
it's like, oh, Tripville, Lidsville,
Then
man.
he's dancing around, and he started singing "Oops, I Did It Again," and he just didn't know
Yeah,
why.
exactly. I had a lampshade in my head.
He put his hands in front of him and he starts seeing colors. He's all, wow, man. Look at
Put a
all the
lamp.
colors.
He put a
My
lampshade
hands-
on it. Hey, this looks pretty cool, man. Then he starts saying, "Oops, I did it again," and then he fell over.
My hands are so big, man. Oh,
And
yeah.
then-
Hey, the
and then he had
turkey's
it-
talking to me, man.
And then he had a Cheech and Chong movie marathon and said,
Oh,
I
man.
finally understand these movies, man.
I should have. What the hell was it? I should have done it. When I got home, I should have thrown it in the Cheech and
He
Chong.
really thought he was born in East LA. It was pretty crazy.
East LA, man. Oh, I could have been Chong if we had Mexican Iron Man. He could have been Cheech, and we could have had a great adventure.
That's true.
And let's just see. The Marvels 6th place with only 6.4 million. Wah, wah, wah. And it's
This
made a
is
total of 188.
Oh, I mean, it's doing better overseas, but still,
Yeah,
this is,
true.
this and Wish, this is a string of failures for Disney.
Right. And even if
I mean-
Wish is somewhat decent,
Right.
it's not a terrible movie or anything. It's just like
Right.
it's not doing well at the box office. And
Right. I mean, I'm not going after Wish as because I know nothing about the film.
yeah, I don't know.
It
much
could be
about
one of the best ones they came out with, but it's just this is not Disney is not doing well. I think so many people are turned off by Disney. Even a lot of the Disney simps are getting tired of Disney. You got the diehards. Disney can do no
really
wrong. But
believe when we heard that stockholders meeting, that Valiant was nice enough to show to a lot of people that there's more than just a few problems with this stuff that people feel. There's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
I I didn't F things up. You enjoyed the show. We talked about for years and years. My grandchildren will be regaled with the story of when Baron flipped out.
Yeah, man.
Dancing with the turkey.
Dancing with the
Oh,
turkey.
man.
Da-da-da-da.
He tried to put it on his head too. It was crazy.
No, Bear, no, we're gonna eat that. You put that on your head, it's contaminated. We can't eat it.
Oh, gosh.
I got a turkey neck. Yay.
Yep. That's great.
No, I mean this is not good for Disney. I mean,
no.
This is part of the catching up, and like I said, I don't have any insiders, don't have it all, but this is part of what I was saying that's going to be going down, and this is part of it. And I really like to see, especially with some divesting with Star Wars projects that Lucasfilm is doing, especially the games, right? How long
is
until
Baron, Dave Filoni, he's now the new creative.
Yeah.
At Lucasfilm
Yeah.
Star Wars. It's going to be great. Just look what we got with Ahsoka, Baron. It's going to be great.
and Book of Boobaloo and all that. Yeah, Dave Filoni has gotten so full of himself, and whoever's been filling his head saying that he is George Lucas's, appointed heir, which he was. George Lucas never made that. Any hints on that? No, I think Disney's going to put Star Wars on the block. I agree with Baron Teague when we're talking to him. It's not going to be Lucas because, again, how much is his money in there? And I don't think he wants it back, even though I do joke that, hey, he sold it for 4 and now he's buying it for 2. He's $2 billion ahead. But what I hope for is, I think it's going to go on the block, and whoever gets it, I hope they do go to Lucasfilm and say, how can you help us?
Mm-hmm.
We want to get back to your vision, not Kennedy, not Filoni, not Favreau, yours.
Exactly.
What can we do to make this better?
Exactly. And I do want to say hello to Irate Specialist, who is over on Rumble, who says, hey, y'all, lurking while working. Thought I would say hi. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, nothing. Hey, nothing wrong. Just have us on. I don't know if you're in a workplace or anything where other people are hearing, going, hey, what are you doing listening to those Tanya?
What are you doing listening to those clowns?
But I do like that Baron guy. He makes a lot of sense. But what are you listening to those guys?
I mean, this is us.
Yeah.
Hello. 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 Viva.
All right. So moving on to our next story here. It does involve one of the movies that was released this weekend. This story comes from Variety. It says Joaquin Phoenix, one-man cult of depressive method acting, vanity. He can be a great actor, but he needs to stop sinking into the mopey, whacked sort of himself. He's an actor. They all do it.
Right.
They all do it. Heck, Hollywood, everybody in Hollywood does it, whether you're an actor or not. You could be behind the camera and you get so involved with yourself, thinking you're the greatest.
Basically, his acting is the same as Marlon Brando. Except Marlon Brando got so freaking lazy, he demanded that they do cue cards for him instead, so he didn't have to memorize his lines. But, if you like Marlon Brando, Joaquin Phoenix is walking in the same steps.
Mm-hmm. This is by Owen Gleiberman, and it was posted on the 25th onto Variety's website. What is Joaquin Phoenix so unhappy about and so twitchy? We've all seen someone triumph at the Oscars and use their acceptance speech as to push a social cause, and in fact, it's almost required. Not really. They can keep their mouth shut about it.
Yeah, it's not required.
But I've never seen a speech quite like the one Phoenix gave in 2020 when he took the Best Actor award for Joker. The film had gotten mixed reviews from critics. What were they so unhappy about? Well, I know some people are going to go boo his to you, Mike, but I wasn't so enthralled with the movie. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was as great as everybody was making it out to be.
Mm-hmm. Right. You weren't dissing on it. It's like, oh, watch it.
No.
It's good, but it's like, okay, let's go to the next one. And as a lot of movies do for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. So the win carried an element of vindication, yet Phoenix treated the moment like a plea of desperation combined with a dirge. Well, who knows what he was on at the time?
Yeah, we got to remember how his brother went out, sadly.
Yeah. Stroking his face and beard with that slightly manic, pensive concern, he said, I've been thinking a lot about some of the distressing issues that we are facing collectively. Then in a freeform ramble about the various modes of injustice, how they've really all the same, he observed that modes of injustice, how they're really all the same. Okay, he observed that many of us, what we're guilty of is an egocentric worldview, the belief that we're the center of the universe. His big example of this, we feel entitled to artificially inseminate a cow, and when she gives birth, we still her baby, even though her cries of anguish are unmistakable. He then harangued those of us who put the cow's milk in our coffee and our cereal, at which point I began to wonder, when was the last time an Oscar speech made me feel this bad. See, here's the thing. I don't watch the Oscars anymore. And
Mhm.
and two, I'm not gonna stop drinking cow's milk.
I've been on a farm. I've helped slaughtered cows. I've gone through the thing. Okay, whatever. Okay,
And
but he's one of those vegan
yeah,
fanatics.
yeah, he is. He is. I know he is. So again,
So was his brother.
it contradicts what the author said up here, where it's almost required for him to be an activist, and saying his speech wasn't being an activist, isn't it? Though
That is.
he's an activist for veganism.
Well, not
Why
only
you
that,
should?
it's almost religious, going out there proselytizing a religion, because that's basically what it is. It's a religion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know there's people who are out there that are vegan because that's what they want to be.
Yeah,
but they're
yeah,
not the
there's
ones
nothing
going
wrong
out
with that.
there. Nothing wrong with that. Be what you want to be. But unfortunately, there are so many lunatics that are in there. Especially, and I'm going to say it, PETA. PETA is a lunatic cult of morons and fanatics and ists. And yeah, I do mean it when I say that they're ists in there. And he's one of them. Of course, you're going to get a speech like that from him. Are you going to be that shocked? It's not like Joachim Phoenix is the walking example of sanity in the world.
Wait. He's not. I thought he was.
Well, didn't he flip out on Conan or David Letterman one time?
He flipped out. I can't remember which talk show it was that he flipped out on, but it was one of those talk shows.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was either Conan. I think it might have been Letterman, but whatever. But he wigged out in his interview on there. It's like, what the hell? Not as bad as what is his name that played Marty McFly's father? What, Crispin Glover or whatever his name
Yeah,
is?
Crispin Glover.
Yeah, who really went bonkers, but he was getting close to that level. What was that?
All right. Yeah, I'm going to show this. I'm going to show this.
Oh, is this what Adamas sent you? Adamas.
Yeah.
He thinks he's part of the show. He thinks he's part of the show. I get it.
I'm gonna share it real quick.
He's working in to try to take over poor Cash. He's got to quit listening to Phil.
All right. Hopefully you'll all be able to hear it. If not, here's what I'll do. Just so we don't run into any issues, is give me a second.
We always run into the issue the moment we hit start show. Instantaneously, there's issues. This is us after all.
I'm going to go ahead and upload the clip, and then as soon as it's finished being uploaded, I will play it.
Yeah, so settle it,
Thank you,
Anonymous. He's going to do it. Yeah. Do. And he's going to come in there, and before you know it, he's going to be sitting on the panel, and Cash is going to be off the side going, "He took my job. He took his job. He took my job."
No, we got to do it in the way Cash would say it. Man, Anonymous, you took my job, man.
These people.
What's up with that? Yeah, Anonymous took my job.
Did he walk away again to make a?
Yes, he did. Here's the clip.
The last thing I want to be remembered as is an annoying blabbermouth. Nothing grinds my gears worse than some chowderhead who doesn't know when to keep his big trap shut.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, that's got to be part of it. That's got to be part of it.
I love planes, trains, and automobiles.
That's got to be part of the list, I think.
Yeah. I'm keeping that clip. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you for your contribution.
Here's your penny candy go away.
It's a tradition to watch planes, trains, and automobiles.
Mm-hmm. As it should be with Dutch.
Yeah.
If you can find it.
Well, that's the thing. It's so darned expensive.
Yeah.
All right. So let me get back to that Joaquin Phoenix article. All right. So it goes on to say, how this critic happened to love Joker. Like I said, I like the movie. I just didn't see what all the praise about it was.
Mm-hmm. I just thought it was kind of unique that Robert De Niro kind of had the roles reversed, where he was with Jerry Lewis, that one about the comedian or whatever, and and now he's reversed. Now he's playing the Jerry Lewis part. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Joaquin Phoenix is playing his part.
Goes on to say, Phoenix's own cry of anguish was and is unmistakable. It has become the defining note of his on screen presence. He's an actor who, if you look at any one of his movies, seems to be performing on the highway, going way, way off the beaten track to enter places both radical and revelatory. Yet, if you take a step back and look at the big picture of his career, you start to see just how much those performances have in common. Kyle Smith, in his Wall Street Journal review of Napoleon, tweaked Phoenix for making every character he plays morose, anguished, petulant, and a bit childlike. And it's true. He has become such a flamboyant hunk of miserable. Yeah, he's miserable, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That you can fill in your own adjectives. Sorry, there I go again. For almost every role. Yet I'll tell you one movie I enjoy Joaquin Phoenix in, and that was where he played Johnny Cash in Walk Hard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He did good in Signs too.
Yeah, that was a good movie too.
Mm-hmm. M. Night and one of M. Night Shyamalan's last good films.
Mm-hmm. In her, Phoenix played a mopey, awkward, deceptic ghost writer who falls in love with his AI assistant. In The Master, he played a mopey, awkward World War II veteran who comes under the spell of a tyrannical cult leader. In Joker, maybe those are the kinds of roles he's enjoying right now. Ever think of that? Some actors look for a specific role that fits where they are at that moment in time,
or that they particularly just enjoy. I mean, it just doesn't matter. I like doing this. I like being this type of character. Look at Brad Dourif, for whatever you pronounce his name. I mean, look at his roles that he's had.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent Price.
Yeah.
All these people playing these, these roles, these villains. I was listening to Julian Glover, how he's talking about that. Yeah, this role is the one that got him down the path of playing the bad guy. And he's like, yeah, doesn't really mind it that much, just like, roles a roll, and I'm getting money, and it was fun.
I mean, again, these are probably the kinds of roles he's looking for because he feels that he gives his greatest performance in,
or maybe even greater challenges.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do to do this role that'll be different than what you'd be expecting?
Mm-hmm.
You're expecting someone who's unhinged, but can I do it differently to surprise and shock you?
Yeah. And of course, the author of the article says, I'm being unfair, of course. Yeah, I think you might be being unfair. And
yeah, I mean, I got my issues with Joaquin Phoenix, but I think you are. Yeah.
I'm leaving out that Phoenix at his best is a great actor. Yes. I love him in Joker, Gladiator. You never really hear. And As the returns on Napoleon indicate, he is certainly still a draw. But here's the thing about his frowning Saturn bad vibe persona. What does it mean? What is that Joaquin Phoenix is out to communicate? The human truth he wants to lay bare. The statement his acting seems to be making more and more is that the world is too dire, too mired in injustice, that there are too many people putting cream in their coffee for him to allow any pleasure to seep into his acting. Well, that's all of Hollywood. They're all activists. Come on, they all have a cause that they are valiantly behind.
Yeah, but the thing is these actors also like to wrap themselves in something that's a challenge. Maybe this stuff is a challenge for them. I mean, look at Carol O'Connor as Archie Bunker. He personally was nothing like Archie Bunker, but what a great character he gave out there. You'll find out a lot of times that these actors are doing this part, it's not them, but they enjoy nuances of this and what can they bring out in this character. And if you're good at it, why not?
Yeah, some actors are good at playing the villain. Yeah, they might have played the good guy in a couple of movies, but what are they best known for? Because they're good at it? Playing the villain.
Yeah. I mean, Alan Rickman. I mean, he had that problem in the beginning because he made such a great villain, but then he was able to transition and branch out. But Hans Gruber, what a great role! Even about the best thing about the Robin Hood movie with Kevin Costner was him playing the sheriff.
Exactly. The rest of the movie stunk.
Yeah.
It goes on to say his acting must be something different, a projection of our despair and collective penance. He's going to mope and mumble for our sins. Says Marlon Brando, when he first came on the movie scene in the early 50s, was widely accused of mumbling, and in hindsight, that's touchingly myopic criticism, since he spoke unclearly only compared to the hyper enunciation, sorry, I can't speak, of the studio system actors. Brando was the revolutionary realist of cinema, but Joaquin Phoenix really does mumble. He plays Napoleon in a mush mouth snit. I understood everything that was coming out of his mouth. You know what? My parents used to say, clean out your ears when I would go, huh? What did you say? Clean out your ears.
Right. Pay attention. Get off your freaking phone and listen.
And yes, I did hear this. Get your head out of your ass and listen.
Yep. No sugarcoating, folks.
No, they didn't sugarcoat it. It's like, okay, all right. Message received. All right, so, and in myopic criticism, since he spoke unclearly only compared to the hyper enunciation of the studio system actors, Brando was revolutionary realist of cinema, but Joaquin Phoenix really does mumble. He plays Napoleon in a mushmouth snit as a kind of whiny troll. Hamlet plowing through the lines with his gravel voice, just affection. He seems to be not so much carrying forth the spirit of Brando as imitating Brando's worst performances, the ones where he would hijack a movie for the sheer hell of it, taking it over with his flaky mythology. He was acting out his contempt for movies. Well, guess what? Again, actors are all about themselves. When they're performing in front of the camera, who is it Who's that camera focused on? Well, it's not focused on the director. It's not focused on the background players. It's focused on the actor right in front of the camera.
I was going to say, what the hell is all this word salad? And didn't this guy ever hear interviews with Marlon Brando? He mumbled then too. He was a mumbler.
Well,
he wasn't acting that.
But Baron, what do you mean that he mumbled? I don't ever recall him mumbling in any interview. I don't know what interview you're listening to, Baron, but Marlon Brando, he never mumbled.
Ha! The hell he didn't.
I was just doing my. I was just doing my Brando
I know. It was a good job. It was a good job, by the way. But no, and of course, what did that mumbling do? It gave him probably one of his best roles ever, The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine? I mean, they wanted to have Orson Welles play that.
And again, impressions. That's what people impersonate when they think of Brando.
Right. I don't think Joachim's star is high enough that people associate with a lot. And I agree with T-Gap. I think this guy is really reading into things. You're trying to think a little too hard with too little juice to do it with.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a good actor, but he's not leaving an impact like Brando or the others. Maybe in a few years he will have much more, but we never know. We know who he is. We've seen enough of his roles to say, yeah, he's good. Has some great roles, but I don't think he's even imitatable right now. Not like Marlon.
No, not at all. And Irate over on Rumble is saying if we stopped eating cattle and drinking their milk, they won't be needed. Farmers raise cattle for money. If there isn't money in it, they will go extinct when farmers stop raising them. And he also says more insect lives are ended in tilling the soil for their vegan crops than there are when we eat meat. Insect lives are less valuable because they aren't fuzzy.
They don't have a cute face.
Exactly.
I can't eat anything with a face. Well, they do have a face.
Yeah. I'm not going to go on and read the rest of this word salad.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I did it wrong. This article.
I call bullshit.
There we go. Got to do it right. No, I don't.
We got to do it right around here, Baron. If we don't do it right, we don't do it at all.
What agency was this? What type of morons were these people?
Variety.
Variety did that. Okay.
Yeah. So we make fun of them because they have 2 or 3 people writing the same article, sometimes 4.
Yeah. Maybe this one needed a couple more writers on it. Maybe they're showing the reason why they need to have so many writers.
Yeah. They're only pretending. They're paid pretenders.
I got my head hurts now. Kind of hurts like yesterday when I had mixed a little too much.
Far out, man. Let's see. T-Gap Steve also says to this author, now in scene 2, part R, the table scene, he scratches his nose twice and his balls once. Now, so we can tell this means he's giving a commentary against female empowerment. And let's see what Jace has to say. He's waving. Hi, Jace. Hi. You can't see me waving or smiling, but hi, Jace. Good to see you, brother.
I mean, what we can take off of this, as everyone knows, he's really off of the bubble, and he's really not in the groove of things, but he's very talented. That's all we need to know.
He's talented. He's nuts. I mean, you can listen to his speech when he won his Oscar for Joker. Yeah, it was Joker. Just he goes crazy, and it's just like, what the hell did he say most of the time? And then a number of years ago, And it's very still tragic what happened to his brother. Unfortunately, his brother got into drugs, but he started acting like his brother, started being really weird. If you guys go back and watch that interview, Letterman, he's got this beard, he's acting really weird. It's like, is he going to do something to himself? And then he seemed to be okay again. Then the speech, if you guys go back and watch the one at the Oscars, you're like, what the hell is this man talking about mostly? What are we doing here? Yeah.
Yeah, when you even got all the virtual signalers in Hollywood, they're sitting in there kind of going, huh?
Yeah.
You've gone off the rails.
Yep.
Even the crazy ones can't understand your craziness. Give them points, Pat. Gotta give them points. He out crazied the crazies.
And Jay says, it's all gay. It's all gay. Sorry, I can't really do a good Cartman impression, but
it's close as you're gonna get. It's all gay.
We need Alex Jones. It's turning the frogs gay.
Yeah. Alex Jones.
There's a flat. We've never been to the moon. It's turning the frogs gay.
Yeah. Sometimes you read these articles and I don't know about you guys, but I think to myself, you guys were just searching for something to bitch and moan about, and this is what you came up with.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah. No wonder why the industry is as thrilled as it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a number of actors, not everybody. Chris Pratt doesn't seem like this, of course. Henry Cavill.
No.
There's other people. They don't seem like this. Morgan Freeman, definitely not. Denzel. There's other people, older actors, people who are still around. Definitely not people like Shatner. He's not going to act like that, but
no, people have even asked him on Twitter for his political views, and he won't give his political views.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to.
Right. He sits back and says, I'm not going to comment on your elections. I'm a Canadian.
Right. That's true. He is.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, really.
He's serious.
Like, yeah.
It's no joke.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that someone's in this country who's not a citizen, right? Obviously, they're enjoying.
Well, I think he's an Canadian citizen by now. I don't know. I think he got his citizenship.
I don't know if he's
maybe not. I don't know.
He still
I have to look
identifies as
into
Canadian,
it.
so yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, we're so used to people like Noah Trevor and all these people that come in from these other countries, and they haven't done anything to become a citizen, and then tell us, they come from a shithole country and tell us how bad we are. Trevor Noah comes from South Africa, and then starts saying how bad we are. Excuse me, go back to your shithole.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we have our problems, but every country has its problems.
Yeah,
but some of these celebrities, and it doesn't matter if they're musicians, actors, actresses who complain about the country, but they love making the money. This is what I have to say to them when they're complaining about our politics and everything that's going on.
All right, youngster, out you go.
Don't come back. Ever.
Well, I mean, you got James Cameron.
Yes.
You got Cameron, who's a Canadian, and he trashes on America.
Cameron,
he makes America, he wouldn't have his money.
He makes money, right? He makes money on stuff. People were, 13 years. I mean, Avatar made ridiculous money for Disney, but it's more about Cameron and his ego. But the guy has definitely done some things that are pretty impressive. He was, of course, involved in Alita: Battle Angel, and that was it was a good adaptation of an anime. So Rodriguez worked on that. Yeah, he directed that. Okay, yeah. But look at what Rodriguez did. He directed Star Wars. It's like, dude, once again, it's a different beast, and I just feel like with the beast, you don't go overboard, and you respect what came before it. I know people say, oh, it doesn't matter, but it always matters. Just, you don't have to do completely a lot of respect, but just certain things. Start there and then build. Yes.
But the thing is these people are all ungrateful, whether it be Pedro Pascal Chilean, who comes here and tells us how shitty we are. Trevor
Right.
Noah, who comes over here and makes fun of us and tells us, mocks us, not even makes fun, not even poking fun, mocks us. And of course, making his money. James Cameron, who's making his millions, and then sits back and starts trashing America. I mean, if at least we have someone like Elon Musk, who they're all mad because you finally have an African American that came over here and started kicking ass and becoming successful. We can't have that, And
no, I know we can't have that. And
because with the African American, because technically he has the right to call himself that.
Yeah, he was born in Africa, and now he's here in America.
This whole thing about certain people like Elon Musk, that like he's the devil and he's this, and I'm like, what? Because you're upset he bought Twix? Like, come on, guys. Look, I think Elon has his problems, definitely, and definitely, I will always say Twix is a little bit better, but it could be so much better, and it's not there yet. So, but this whole thing about who we consider evil and who isn't, like, I can go down a list of people that in this country that I would probably consider to be evil or just a clown show, if anything, you know. But
I got
it's
a
just,
whole list.
I know Joaquin Phoenix is like nuts, for example, but I would love to interview the man because of some of the joy he has brought to my life with his films.
Right.
I don't blame you.
Line, he was great. Gladiator, great character.
Yeah. Horrible History, great film.
Yes.
I mean, really, but so it's nice to have that refreshing breath. Well, I think they're all mad because you have Elon coming in there. He's not saying bad things about this country at all. He's saying about how great it is. This is the land of prosperity, and he's to prove of that. So we're gonna, once he got Twix, of course, it was like open game and basically lies about the man. And I'm not a simp for Elon. Don't get me wrong. I find him more amusing than anything else.
Yeah, he can be very amusing. I agree.
There's the amusement factor that I have. If there's a simp level for him, it's the amusement. I enjoy the show. But the thing is, it's also refreshing the fact that you have someone that came here, did this, and is going, "Yay, America!" Unlike all these twat waffles that we have here.
Yeah, twat waffles.
And
and I like what T-Gap says here. I don't know, eh? He could be Canadian by now, eh? Don't be a hoser. Yeah, don't be a hoser, eh? And what's straight through, eh?
Well, and again, thank God for William Shatner. Even though he's a Canadian, he is more than willing to acknowledge that it's here that got him where he's at.
Right.
You never hear him diss on us, on the States or whatever. He's here. He knows that it's us. And of course, needless to say, the world too, because he's part of a worldwide phenomenon. But he wouldn't have been part of it wasn't for being here.
Right. Well, it's just if people could be more reasonable about things, then problems can start getting fixed. But with arrogance and narcissism, it's never going to happen.
Unless it's my narcissism.
Unless it's your narcissism.
Yeah, my narcissism. That's okay.
Yeah, Baron runs next door and he's like, "Hey, is it Halloween yet? Give me some candy, you little bastards!" And what's wrong with this guy? What's going on here?
I hide in the bushes in Robin so they can't.
Hey, there was a Sasquatch sighting here in the Minnesota area.
Yeah. Well, we've had a few. Some of them are me.
That's my point.
Yeah, it's just our entertainment. It's everything. But once again, I don't know how many times I can say this, and a lot of us need to wear shirts, is that politics being ingrained in everything in your life is terrible. It's awful. We need to back off. The only politics that should be in entertainment that I feel are ones that actually add to the story, make sense. So
help move the story along.
Yes.
Right.
Well, going from politics in stories to this from Bounding into Comics, says Witcher creator, and I'm gonna butcher this. I do apologize. Andres Sapkowski says Netflix never listened to his feedback on a live action series. This is by Spencer Bacoli. It was posted on the 22nd. Says it's a tale as old as time. What is this? Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast. Oh, sorry.
When it comes to the streaming giant, according to the Witcher original creator Andrzej Sapkowski, try saying that twice. I can't even say it once.
It's Polish. Who cares?
Netflix was completely uninterested in hearing his opinions regarding their handling of his seminal works live action adaptation. Well, that's never good when you want to just do your own thing and not listen to the author and creator of the series that you're basing all the works on.
Yeah, and your star too, who knows the property, but
it's something we've mentioned here. If you're going to write something like Star Wars, Star Trek, or in this case, The Witcher, you're going to play in someone else's sandbox. You better do your research and be respectful to that source material.
Right.
I mean, I know this is Netflix. They can't do a lot of things right. Yeah, I will admit, One Piece turned out pretty good.
Yeah, thank God.
But that's because the original creator was putting his foot down and saying, no, we're not going to do it this way. This way.
It was enjoyable. It's just like if they took with Star Wars, if they did things differently and you had a character like Rey or somebody else, and you're like, this is what I want. I want this to be this woman who gets to become powerful. Then let's see the training. Let's see more origins. Let's see some background. Let's see all this. And then it's like, okay, now you guys are starting to make people care about the character.
Yeah, let's see the stumbling and falling, because that, you want representation, that's your representation right there. And that represents everybody.
Right.
Not just a myopic view of what's going on. That encompasses everyone.
Yep.
But my suffering pains more than yours, so it needs to be heightened more.
Yeah, well, that's
Mom loves me more than you. Dad loves me more than you.
Yeah,
that's what it reminds me of. That's what it reminds me of.
Well, it's the same thing with the Star Wars Outlaws. They said that it's just like, oh, she's had this trauma and stuff, but she's gonna fight back. And I'm like, how many times do we have to see this with a character? Like, can't she? I don't know. She was in like a bounty hunter family and something went wrong and something like that. Can we have something cool like that? No, we have to have, oh, she's having the struggle, but she's going to prevail. Okay, well, we haven't heard that 1,000 times, but sure.
She was out in the middle of nowhere.
We haven't heard it at all.
She was out in the middle of nowhere and they had to improvise their own maxi pad. Oh, great storyline.
And it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. It's like, we've had this story already. Can't we have something like, hey, she's excuse me, she's in a bounty hunter family, like I said, and then like something happens and then she has to get revenge and all this stuff like this. That could be cool. But no, we have to okay, whatever, do something a little differently. Or she was in a scoundrel family, somebody in her family died, then she has to go into space, and this is why she has to do this and how she feels and blah blah blah, and or whatever.
Did you look at the name of your own project here? Outlaws?
Right, exactly.
So this article goes on to say the author provided this insight into his experience with Netflix, the Witcher production team, while speaking to Austrian video game news outlet Serial Killers during the recently held 2023 entry of the annual Vienna Comic-Con. Vienna. Following discussions on his writing history, creative process, and what lies in store for Geralt in the future, the outlet eventually raised the topic of the live-action series, asking Sapkowski, when you visited Netflix on set for the Witcher series, did you give them any feedback? And that's the look of a man that's about to tell you.
Yeah.
Did they listen? Hell no.
No, you don't want. Oh yeah, you don't want to get those Slavs going.
No. He's like, you really asked me that question? Well, here's my answer.
Yeah.
To the question, the author first responded by beaming over how well the set was tremendous. Tremendous. Everything before returning to the outlet's main question and admitting that while he had thoughts on the series' direction, they were ultimately discarded by the production team. I'm not shocked. You guys
Yeah.
shocked?
No, we know what the production team was filled with.
Yeah.
They didn't see. I mean, Henry Cavill said a lot about it. It's like, geez, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it doesn't happen to him on the Warhammer project. I hope people go, you know what? Let's go all do our research, at least some. Do some research and then build from there.
Well, being that he's in a producer spot, I think we have a little bit more hope of that.
Yeah, I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Says maybe I gave them some ideas, but they never listened to me. He left to serial killers. It's normal. Who's this? He's a writer. He's nobody. Yes, but you created the whole thing that they're basing their TV show around.
Mm-hmm. Didn't we
They
just
should
go
show
through
him a lot more respect.
Didn't we just
It's
go
just
through
like
a whole strike where the writers were complaining that they're not taken seriously?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, the hypocrisy.
Hollywood and hypocrisy? No.
Never.
You don't say.
Never. Joachim Phoenix, put that bacon down. We see you.
I hope that the Warhammer Project Cavill has the ability to go do it this way, or I leave and take it all with me. So Amazon has to play ball. I hope so.
I hope so. That's what I'm rooting for. I want this to be freaking fantastic. And my hope is him.
And T-Gap also says, plus he needs to wear the Krieger mask just for Hunty. I take it Hunty really likes that.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Well, that's something.
My.
I'm not saying anything that's probably not far from the truth. What can the three of us say? We watched Baywatch. We saw women running in bathing suits, bikinis. Did that stop us from watching? No, it made us stop and watch.
Yeah. Hooters.
Exactly.
Like Al Bundy on the couch. I do Hooters. Hooters.
Peg, I need an issue of Bigums.
Yeah, where's my Biggins? Oh, ow.
What? They canceled Cycle, Dad.
I still love the one where he's on with the Dodge and he wants to like wrap the cord around his neck because he's waiting so long to get through the customer service. I laugh every time, dude.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a long time, but I still remember that quite well. Yeah.
Oh, they got one on YouTube here where they basically have the best bets that they have on a loop on Married with Children YouTube page. It's hysterical.
I wonder if the newer generations even understand that all the topics that they covered for the No Ma'am, how Marcy felt, all different kinds of things that you wouldn't even think about at that time.
I don't know, because I read an article. About, with that. And they're talking about, how Roseanne almost became Peg Bundy, which is true. They offered the part to her and she turned it down. And they said, yeah, she turned it down. She turned it down to be Roseanne because she was, with Roseanne. It's like Roseanne wasn't even a show until after Married with Children.
Yeah.
She wasn't competing with it. And then, of course, they went with a better choice with Case of Call, honestly. But it's like, They can't even get that right.
That's true. And Crit says, to be frank, the author of Witcher is probably only saying this because he resents how much money it made, even if it's trash. Let us get through the article first, Crit. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
That is actually true, but we can continue with the article. He got very upset about the video game. That is actually,
yeah, he didn't like the game either. No,
he got mad, and he did not like how much money it made. I don't know about him being a well-known asshole, but
right. Well, yeah, and okay, it's a follow through too. He's Slavic. They have a different mindset. They don't like their stuff fucked around with, anyways.
Right.
They're not woke over there. They're not woke in Poland. They're not woke in those countries. And when they see the wokeness going, they don't like it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Grit absolutely right. Upset about these things, but there's also underlying cultural things that you have.
And Irate over on Rumble says, "No, ma'am.
No, ma'am." Yeah.
The article goes on to say, notably, this is not the first time the storied author has offered such a lukewarm reception to Netflix's ongoing mess of a television adaptation. Asked by a fan for, for his thoughts on the live-action The Witcher series during a recent appearance at the 2023 Taipei International Book Exhibition, Sapkowski unenthusiastically affirmed, "I've seen better. I've seen worse." Further, Sapkowski is far from the only creator to have publicly claimed that Netflix ignored their input when adapting their work. Speaking to his involvement in Netflix's ill-fated television disaster during a 2019 interview with Japanese entertainment news outlet Autoquest, Cowboy Bebop creator Shinichiro Wanatabe detailed, "I read the initial concept and provided my opinions, but I'm not sure if they will be reflected in the final product." Netflix disregarding Wanatabe's feedback would later be confirmed by series lead John Cho, who during an interview with IGN admitted, "We did not communicate with Watanabe, sorry, my bad." Likewise, in explaining, I know I'll see myself out. In explaining his exit from the production team for Netflix's upcoming live-action adaptation of his and Brian Canizzo's popular animated series Avatar: The Last Airbender, co-creator Michael Dante DiMartino affirmed in a joint announcement for the series, Netflix said it was committed to honoring our vision for this retelling and to supporting us on creating the series. And we expressed how excited we were for the opportunity to be at the helm. Unfortunately, things did not go as we had hoped. His creative partner, Brian, I'll just say Brian because I can barely pronounce that last name without saying four-letter words, and likewise told fans when Netflix brought me on board to run the series alongside Mike 2 years ago, they made a very public promise to support our vision. Unfortunately, there was no follow-through on that promise. Though I got to work with some great individuals, both on Netflix's side and on our own small development team, the general handling of the project created what I felt was a negative and unsupportive environment. To be clear, this was not a simple matter of us getting our way, he added. Mike and I are collaborative people. We did not need all the ideas to come from us. As long as we felt those ideas were in line with the spirit and integrity of Avatar, we would have happily embraced them. However, we ultimately came to the belief that we would not be able to meaningfully guide the direction of the series. And yet, despite Netflix's ongoing disrespect of the very creators they source their creative ideas from, their best performing and most widely enjoyed show in recent memory was One Piece, whose production team broke this trend by actively including series mangaka Ichiro Oda in every step of its development, as any company should if they're going to be taking somebody else's property and characters and making it into a live action series.
Right.
Get the input from the creator. Find out what the creator says can be done, what the characters would and would not do. Because if anyone knows the characters the best, it's the person who created those characters and the story
Yes.
and the world that those elements are all revolving around it.
Yep, that's
Right.
why you get the input of the creator. Like, hey, I'm working on this adaptation, or I want to do something like this. Let's see what happens, and then you go, okay, let's work on this.
Hey, George, R. Martin, what should we do more of in the show? More floppy wieners. Floppy wieners. Floppy
Oh my
wieners.
God.
Antigua says, okay, Jensen, crypto coin work calls, and I must away like I stole something, and her daddy has a shotgun.
Oh
Till
my
next
God.
time. Thank you for
Later,
coming by, and thank
T-Cat.
you for the latest episode of Beverly Hills 414. T-Cap, you have a good day, brother.
Thank you again, T-Cap, and make sure to stay away from those cookie ninjas. Yeah, they're bad news.
Yeah. He has a job.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes.
I learned something new about him. Okay.
I mean, I thought Mike was paying him under the table, but I guess not. So.
Yeah, I think it's Phil.
Yeah.
And hello, Kathy Skywalker. And I just want to let you know I did see some of those trolls in the chat last night when I was doing my slobs test, and I chose not to acknowledge them.
They were like, "Is this Fortnite?" And the other one's like, "It's Fortnite." And is this Fortnite? And it's like,
Is it
wow,
Super
that's
Mario
ridiculous.
Brothers?
Yeah.
It was just
So my alts did work. Great.
And then one of them said, "Hey, you're supposed to acknowledge the chat. Hello, Mike, 414-444-568-2161." Yeah. No, they just said they actually just said Pacific 414. Amazing.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot that Crit is right about though on that one, but I also think he's got. I almost feels like he's got a little bit of that Alan Moore to him. That Alan Moore is like divesting myself of other people taking my stuff and so.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It was sounding very Alan Moore-ish there, which his is unique. A lot of people had the same opinion too.
If the creator can just take their politics out of it, it should be okay. It's just when they got to ingrain the politics, like I've always said, like if I was going to sit down with somebody like Patty Jenkins, I was about to call her something else. It'd be like, when you had more control, why did you feel you had to go in this direction with 1984? And I would have told you, like if I was working on the production, not so much talking down to anybody, but just saying you guys should read the comic that this would be based on, and then go in that direction. It would have been cool to actually see in live action where Wonder Woman would say to Max Lord, "You're basically too dangerous to be kept alive." And then Superman comes down and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe what you did, Wonder Woman." And I said, it had to be done. Like that kind of stuff would have been cool to see in live action, but nope.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's bad when you've heard stories where the actors going on these shows are told, "No, we don't want you to look at the source material, the comics or whatever." And virtually they have them banned, and they're talking about how they had to smuggle to read these things to see what their characters about. I mean, that's banning the source material.
That's what James Gunn said to John Cena about Peacemaker. He said, "Don't read the old comics because we're not basing this series around the old comic series."
Right. This is what you're getting with DC, folks. This is what you're going to be getting with DC.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I know it's a mess. It's okay. Anonymous, I don't mind the hate. I really don't. I'm happy. I think all of us on this panel don't care about the hate.
I don't.
It would be
There's
very
hate?
rare. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because Anonymous was saying that I want to be fired with my opinions and suggestions. We found out. I found out recently that Anonymous might be an SJW. He's kind of woke. He just doesn't want to tell us.
I knew that for a long time. You just figuring that out?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Well, his excessive wand usage in Hogwarts
yes,
was the one that tipped me off completely.
That is a disturbing sign.
Yeah, that was. So I mean, I figured it out.
Yeah.
You figured it out. You're probably wondering why hasn't Mike and Cash figured it out yet? Come on, guys, it's right
Come
there.
on, man. No, we don't.
I'm
We were
just sitting
trying to
back
be
going,
nice. We were trying to
I'm
be
just
nice.
thinking-
We didn't want to hear about how he wanted to turn into a bear and do things. We didn't want to hear that. It's crazy.
I was just kind of sitting there looking at the watch. How long is it going to take them now? Just wait. There we go.
Look at this that Crit wrote.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the Druid Anonymous gonna turn into a bear for Cash Money's robe.
Yikes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just that game
Oh,
was
not homage.
Oh man,
dude.
Oh, we're getting into a weird area.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then again, this is Pop Talk. When don't we?
Yep. Pop Talk After Dark. Oh wait, it's not After dark. So later.
It's after dark somewhere. It's after dark
somewhere.
It's after dark somewhere.
That's the Rumble edition.
That's the Rumble edition.
Welcome to Pop Talk After Dark.
Yeah,
Women
yes, ladies and
jumping
gentlemen.
on trampolines and wearing skimpy
right.
outfits.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Pop Talk After Dark. I am your host, Mike, along with Baron Orman Taggy and Cash Money 007.
That's Cash Monet.
Yes.
Monet.
Yes, Monet.
Yes. We start talking about how you're supposed to sit at the dinner table where the forks go and the knives.
Mm-hmm. I'm at the kiddie table, as always.
Yes, always.
No, the three of us are at the kiddie table having the time of our lives while everyone else is all stuffy over at the adults table.
You know it. Kiddie table's always the fun one. Hey. When you get a chance, say this word to your parents. It'll be funny. Really, honestly. But I never lie to you.
It's too funny.
Yeah, yes, you would. You've lied to me multiple times. I don't know why I keep listening to you.
But yeah, I mean, Crit is right about that whole thing. I mean, the creators involved in Scott Pilgrim, and it's just like, why are we doing this? And other people I talked to recently were like, do we really need Scott Pilgrim? I mean, like the movie came out a number of years ago. It's been more than 7, I think, at least.
I never
Something
watched
like
it.
that.
So
Oh, you
I
guys
never
haven't watched
did.
it? It's not bad. I think you guys might like it. It's became a cult classic, but I do agree with other people that I've talked to recently that didn't need to come back. I don't know. I don't think it needed to come back in this direction if the fans wanted it back. I mean, I thought it was good, but I'm like, oh, Scott Pilgrim. Like, I've heard other people like, oh, it was so amazing. I'm like, it was good. You know, I don't really remember much of it anymore. It didn't.
He doesn't remember much of anything, folks.
I just don't remember that. It didn't click. But I can tell you right now some scenes about Star Trek 4. I can tell you that.
Yeah. And a double dumbass on you too.
That's right.
Beside the point.
That's right.
What are you doing, you dumbass? Well, double dumbass on you.
Dude, there's just so many. The hell they are your whales. Yeah. Yeah. No, that movie is very good.
Yeah, it is.
Do you like it? Do you like Italian? No. Yes. No. Yes.
We need to find the
You love
vessels.
it.
The
I
what?
love
The
Italian.
vessels.
And so do you.
Gotta find the vessels.
The nuclear vessels.
Vessels. Yeah.
Where is the naval base? In Alameda. I think it's across the bay in Alameda.
And the funniest thing about that was a real exchange. That was all. What you say? They were there with it, and someone was walking by. Koenig did that. She did that line. They went all berserk. They had to chase her down so she could sign the release because it's like, no, this is too good. This is too good.
Remember when the guy's playing the music too loud and Spock just touches him on the right by the neck, and people clap.
I hate you, and I berate you.
Oh my God! Or when Bones,
screw you too.
And then when Bones is like dialysis or whatever.
What is this, the Dark Ages?
Yeah, what is this? The Dark Ages? It's just so many great lines. With the hello computer. No, you have to put it. Oh, so quick.
I'm doing that right now with my computer. I'm holding my.
Hello computer.
Oh, hello computer. Yeah.
What's funny about that scene though with the punk was, that was Kirk Thatcher, who was actually on the production team, and he wrote that. Oh, did we lose Mike?
Yeah, we did.
I didn't do that.
I've got a gaming mouse, so every now and then I'll hit one of the extra buttons, and I actually eat myself out.
Yeah, there he is. He is talking into it.
He's like, "How's it going, guys?" Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's what you get for doing a bit that people can't see you doing.
But
it's called, let's call that segment "Mike Eats Himself."
But
yeah, there we go.
The one thing that there's just a number of movies, I'm sure you guys would agree, that just aren't memorable, and that's okay. But even like the Batman, it's like, yeah, I enjoyed it, but would I want to watch it again? No. You watch this other movie. I watched Avatar: Way of Water mostly because of the 3D. I watched it with my brother in the theaters. I was like, oh, cool. We put on 3. Do I want to watch Avatar: Way of Water again? No. But I saw it in 3D and it had some cool water effects. So did I care much about the story? Not really. But
And how many weeks did we have to listen to Crit complain? There wasn't enough orcas.
True. Every time we said hello, hey, Crit, there wasn't enough orcas in that movie. I'm going to talk to James Cameron. Where's my orca representation?
But however I feel about Cameron and his attitude and stuff, the man puts out something and it certainly makes money. A lot of money. We'll see what he does next. We'll see what he does next.
He's got talent.
Yeah.
But when it comes around to yay for math, like with the Scott Pilgrim, do we need it? Well, not necessarily. You can do it, but if we do it right, you can revive something or get a new generation interested.
Exactly.
If you do it right, and even if it's been so many years, like what's this all about? Well, there was this movie called oh really? And then you sit down and watch it, and now you got the cult following going even bigger. It can be done, but you have to do it right. If you don't do it right, you failed.
Yeah, and look, if you're not but we've also talked about this too. If you don't want to follow the source material, then at least make something that is interesting and actually mean it.
And I'll bring up a perfect movie that gained a cult following that led to 2 other sequels. And that's Austin Powers. It failed at the box office, but it became a success because people rented the movie. Then they bought the movie.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That happens too. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And that's why it's like, it's been how long? If they do it right, it can have a nice revival, bring something back. Just like Star Trek. Everybody wanting Star Trek to come back, and finally we got it.
Yes.
Did we need to bring it back? Well, not really, but there was enough of an interest and a cry for it.
Mm-hmm.
And relatively for the movie series, they stuck to what Star Trek was about, the original movie series, not the.
I mean, let's give credit where credit's due when it comes to the RoboCop Rogue City game.
Mm-hmm.
When you're playing it, you feel like you're actually in the first 2 movies.
Yeah, it's RoboCop 1.1 or 1.5. So it's not quite RoboCop. It's in that space between the two, kind of. You're in a sequel, just like the best sequel that you could have had for Back to the Future after the 3 films, and that was that video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But But even if like you're not going to follow the source material really, but there's just certain things. It's like I can't. I have to follow this because I can't change this. Like the helmet with Boba Fett, you know, it's like it has to be on. Like it just I can't have him take off his helmet. I can't grasp that in my brain. I can't do it. No.
And
Outfits,
talking a lot.
right? Exactly. And outfits, like yes, and
he
less
needs to
talking.
be ruthless. He needs to be
Exactly.
ruthless.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't do that whole thing where it's like there's just certain things like I have to keep that that I just have to keep the direction, the source material. It's just I can't go and be like, no, I don't want this. It's just you see things and you're like, it has to stay this way. Like it can't change. Outfits, helmets, whatever it is. Like it's just certain things that just don't do this.
Yeah, and sadly, we have George Lucas to thank for that one because he was the one that screwed it up with clones, having them all Django and Boba Fett is the clone.
Well,
I mean,
you know,
essentially he took a helmet off then, but he took the helmet off again. You lost a lot of mystique of Boba Fett. We did not need to know anything. Yeah, we didn't need to know anything more about Boba.
Still, it's just Boba Fett could still leave his helmet. Okay, you want to take it off sometimes, but usually just leave it on. You know, just like the Mandalorian, just leave it on. That's why, like, when the Star Wars started, it was okay. I'm actually enjoying this Mandalorian thing. There's this whole thing about he's doing this for money, and then there's this character Cara Dune, and there's like stuff I like about this. I'm like, you know, this isn't bad. And then it's just where it goes, and it's like, okay, this seems better, and then it goes downhill, and it's like, look, guys, just be honest with us. Like, where are the numbers? Like, I want to see them. If this is a success, then I'm happy to say, hey, you guys made it a success. I got nothing to say about that. But it seems like you're always hiding. So stop hiding. Just admit it. Like, if it's a success, you're obviously going to come out and say it. But it's interesting. If One Piece, for some reason, was not a success, the live action, would Netflix still have come out with the numbers? Maybe so. I don't know. We know things like Resident Evil live action wasn't a success. It only went on one season. We know Cowboy Bebop wasn't a success. And the creator saw this and basically said, what the hell is this? When he finally saw this recently, what is this?
Yeah, they scrapped the second season they were planning, that they were already getting ready to do.
All right.
I mean, that's bad.
Yeah.
Everything's all planned up. It's like, nah, we're pulling the pin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it,
I agree.
If you're not gonna follow the letter law, follow the spirit of law, and that's what that is this what the universe is all about. Right, the feel, the touch, the texture. Because you know, just as much as characters are, the settings that you're in, the style of the storytelling that you're doing is just as important, and in some ways more important. Because you can replace characters and with others. Look at Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Good old Tolkien, of course, had a hit with The Hobbit. Had a main established character with Bilbo Baggins, but when it came to the Lord of the Rings, it's like, no, I'm not going to have Bilbo. I think he's too silly. I'm going to bring this new character in. Bilbo's still going to be around, but you replace that protagonist, but the spirit of the whole world and everything revolving works.
Right.
It still draws you in. You still get your Bilbo fix, but you fall in love with these other characters as well.
Yep.
You feel a sense of accomplishment in what they've done in the past and the perils that they're about to face.
Yeah, it's just like the people who worked on Batman the Animated Series and stuff. It's just like what Pop says and other people say, it's like it's the GOAT. But it's just it's well written, and so is Batman Beyond. So is these 90s shows, even if you don't like the animation very much. And I've had some conversations about that. Some people don't like the X-Men animation from the 90s. Okay, that's their opinion. But you have to admit the storylines are still there.
Yeah.
And Crit says here, even though there's a lot of useless filler, I feel Bad Batch and Andor are the only consistent shows.
I mean, Andor killed characters. They didn't come back. It wasn't like, oh, nobody dies, or whatever. It just, they didn't come back. They were dead. Just like they died in Rogue One. And Rogue One
Right.
had some of the best space battles I've seen in Star Wars and I don't know how long. I mean, they had some epic space battles. I'm like, can we get this back? Can we have more of this? Where is
Right.
this?
Yeah,
I
not
love epic
not the
space battles, man, and ground
yeah.
battles and stuff. Hell yeah, dude, let's go.
Mhm.
It's Star Wars, as people always say. It's in the title.
Yeah, it's in the titles. Yeah, it's like
It is.
well, why are you doing all this battling and fighting for? What where do you get off doing that? It's in the title, of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's nasty, It's like,
If you guys ever watch
war
Andor,
isn't pretty.
no, it's not. If you guys ever watch Andor, there's a lot of manipulation from the Empire, and you're like, ugh, yikes, man. Yeah.
right, which is contrary to what a lot of Disney's been doing, where they're making the Empire sympathetic.
Right. Right.
And it's like, well, why are we battling the Empire then? They're your paradise.
Right.
You work so hard.
Yep.
How can you write anything else when you admire the Empire in your shows? Well, we made it more inclusive, and we have aliens also, so we don't have the prejudice, and blah. It's like then you're taking, it's like, no, I don't believe in female stormtroopers. Well, that's sexist. Yes, you're absolutely right, because that's what the Empire is, not me.
Yes, that's right. They're the
Then
Empire.
what are you fighting for?
Exactly.
Then what are you fighting for?
What are you fighting for? Yes. What are you fighting for?
It's
just
not
like
the Empire, it's utopia.
It's just like season 3 of Picard. It's like, you guys started with season 1 of Picard with the Borg. You didn't have to have the Borg. There's other races that you could have put in there that could have been just as cool, and you guys could have done something differently. But Patrick Stewart wanted this way, and all. It's like, man, I gotta say, Patrick, I'm disappointed, dude. Like you're.
I want you to take my character and make him
right.
pathetic. This is the way I viewed that Picard really was pathetic, and I want you to berate him.
And real quick,
because,
real quick, Irate brings up another show that had great storylines, and that was Gargoyles.
It did. Yeah. So did Tailspin. Had fun storylines too. There was this whole thing about a pirate and then like Blue, and it was this whole like 5-arc thing. Same with DuckTales, same with Darkwing Duck, same with even I think Freakazoid had some of that. But
yeah,
even G1 Transformers, 5 Faces of Darkness. You find out more about the Quintessons.
Yep. But people don't think about that anymore. It's just like, and if you're going to only get like 10 episodes, those should be the most interesting 10 episodes that somebody's putting out there.
Right. There shouldn't be filler in a show that goes only 10 or 13 episodes.
No
filler.
They shouldn't be. Stuff like I would always say some people will never try Arcane because it's tied to League of Legends. They will never try it. And I'm like, give it 3 episodes. If you can't get through the 3rd episode, then maybe you should drop it. But
I don't know, just the opening and the animation and everything there. It's like, how can you not get lost and go, I don't know what this League of Legends is, but damn, this is good.
Yeah, I know.
Yep. And gentlemen, I think now is a good time to start wrapping up this edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk.
Oh man,
here on the YouTube and Rumble channel. But before we do that, Cash, is there anything you'd like to promote?
Well, there's going to be either excitement today or tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. But the next thing I want to do is more
decided, folks.
Yep. Undecided. Is Ratchet and Clank Part 3. I've got the thumbnail already, so yeah. We'll see what happens.
Ooh, thumbnails.
Nice.
That's right.
now that you've got them done, thumbnails are so hard. I just don't know what to do with these thumbnails.
These thumbnails, man. But dude, Baron,
ooh, I wonder what I can do now.
Yep, Baron. But learning how to make thumbnails, like it's just like, man, this is so cool.
Did you have the glowing eyes and make it look clickbaity?
I don't think so. Glowing eyes.
Those glowing eyes that they always have, and make it look all clickbaiting. Yeah.
No, I don't. No, I haven't done that yet. It's clever though. I do like the glowing eyes though. It's very effective.
Oh, I don't like that.
You don't? You think it just looks going? Oh, okay.
Everybody does it.
Oh yeah.
It's always associated. Kathleen Kennedy's underneath your bed, clickbait thing.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Kathleen
It's
Kennedy's
not-
going to be fired.
it's like
Everybody, Kathleen
yeah.
Kennedy's going to be fired. I know this is the 1,000 millionth time you've heard it, but she's going to be fired this time. I promise you.
Or Gina Carano recently, she destroyed Disney with what she said, or Gina Carano did this, or Gina Carano did that, or this Bob Iger may be fired and stuff, instead of saying, will Bob Iger be fired?
Right. Sometimes a question is
like
better
a question.
than, yeah, and then bringing down points instead of just going out with some sort of clickbait. My rumor mill says,
Yep. Anyways, it's just
And,
I don't know. There's
and
just a lot to make
Anonymous
fun of.
Anonymous is saying this.
You might think everything is okay, but Disney, he's gonna get you. Kathleen Kennedy's gonna get you. Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you.
See, Butters just knows, man, and you scream.
I'm Butters. Yeah, I'm the Butters. I'm the Butters. I can associate with poor Butters so much.
Man. Poor Butters, dude. He just Kathleen Kennedy's gonna get you, man.
Yeah, gonna get you.
I just want to go. I want to find Kathleen Kennedy. Say, you gonna get you? You gonna get us? And just laugh at her face. Are you gonna get you?
Well, what about you, Baron? What's gonna get folks to come over to Baron Norman Tag's Fandom Legacy?
Oh yes.
Oh, my turn. Oh well,
Yes,
we've been muttering in the background here now that the BS in personal lives that a lot of us have had. That's been doing a delay, and of course the holiday season. Saturday, 7:00 Central Standard Time on Fandom Legacy. We're going to be doing continue on with season 3 of Babylon 5 discussion. Woo! We're getting to the middle part. I said it before. This is really when things start taking off and the story starts exploding. Basically the build up, and this is part of the reward. So I hope you'll be able to be there to listen to us discuss and what we think about. I'm sure that season 3 is going to go 3 parts. So the second part of 3 parts of season 3 of Babylon 5 and our takes of how the show progressed to this point. So please join us and be there and be square.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Very
And
nice.
as far as Pacific Forum 4 is concerned, well, Slobs is working once again.
Woo!
After I
Yay,
had to
Slobs!
go on and do a few other things, and one of the main things that actually got it to work, and it wasn't working before I did this, was actually importing my OBS settings. I don't know why that made a difference, but it seemed to make a difference, and now Slobs is working again.
Woohoo!
He turned the computer on and off again. That's what he did.
Woohoo!
Oh, quiet, you smart ass.
I press the button. No, you press the button. Yeah.
Tuesday will definitely be a game stream at 6 p.m. Eastern. I just haven't decided what game it's going to be. And then Wednesday, we'll be back with more Pacific 414 Pop Talk with Cash, Baron, and myself. And Thursday will be another game stream at 6 p.m. Eastern. Again, I just don't know what game it's going to be. But do know that it could possibly be more Cuphead.
Cuphead. Woohoo!
And
whatever it is, you're going to be seeing a lot of dying. That's all I can say.
It's going to be. You're going to die, clown.
Well, you know what? You know what? That goes into another saying for this channel, and I thought about it last night. Don't ever give up on me in a game.
Nope.
Because you never know what you might miss.
You never know what you're gonna find, dude. It's like the box of chocolates. So yeah.
Well, and that was Mouse sneezing, by the way. Bless you, Mouse.
Bless you, Mouse.
And yeah, you never know. I mean, it's always good for a laugh watching Mike play.
He's going to get through it though, and he's going to learn. So that's more than a certain pot piggy Moochie does. So you know, yeah. That's right.
Well, and if Mike ever decides to have the peanut gallery in the background doing our commentary talking on there, it gets even more wild.
That's true. Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I don't know if I would want that during a game like Cuphead. I mean, you
I
already
don't
have
know,
to
man. There's a lot
concentrate.
of focusing going on that, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
well, not Cuphead is different. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
other stuff, sure, but Cuphead.
Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Yep.
Phil
Hello, Phil.
McCracken.
Phil McCracken, the Scottish therapist.
I'm Phil McCracken, the Scottish therapist.
King of the Trolls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I do want to thank everybody who watched us, whether you watched us on Rumble or YouTube. For those of you on Rumble, there was Aval, there was Low Spec Linux Gaming, as he's known over on that side. Anonymous was over there. Irate Gamer was over there. So thank you very much for watching over on the Rumble side. I greatly appreciate it. And over on the YouTubes, the tubes of the Ube, unfortunately, because I muted myself, I can't see everybody that was here. So Baron, if you could do me a favor.
I will be more than happy to do that. And in fact, I'll go right on the top. Of course, the first one we have starred on here is the lovely Leah Rose, the president and sole member of the Phil McCracken fan club. Thank you for being here. We can't forget our great soap opera writer, Mr. T Gap, Big Daddy T Gap Steve. He was here. Jace, of course, from 540 Studios. Wolverine Snicket, I hope I said that right, was here. Kitty Bear was here until he went to Mead Radio. Yeah, see how you treat us. Yeah, and then DJ Ronnie G. Yeah, Trader. DJ Ronnie G and his magnificent turtles of nerd.
Turtle Power,
were
man.
Here. Turtle Power, man. We had Christian Fandom Geek here, as well as Real Wade Gaming Clips. Jet Sparks came in here, as well as Anonymous waving his wand. Yeah. Boosh McFadden. Ha 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 ha. And then we had of course the Padawannabe. He was here as well. On our side as well was Low Spec Linux Laptop. He was doing both sides today. We can't forget the old man. And we have Kathy Skywalker, Sister of Anarchy, was here. Everybody's favorite orca swam in, and that was Lord Crit of Everest Production. And of course, we cannot leave out, last but not least, everyone's favorite troll, Phil.
Phil, the Scottish therapist.
Worst troll ever.
Yeah, and Patrick Stewart, I heard, just doesn't like Phil McCracken, unfortunately, and Phil feels the same way. So
This is Patrick Stewart, and I wish to tell Phil McCracken that I hate him also.
You know, I heard Patrick Stewart call him a Yankee.
Wow, dude, that's crazy.
That's an insult to Phil, considering he hails from the great state of Delaware.
Well, yeah, I know, dude, and he likes to hang out and eat ice cream with Joe Biden, so that's something.
Yeah. They're pals. They're pals. You know, he was rubbing those legs, those legs that turn golden in the sun, and
Oh man.
Come on, Baron. I don't need that picture in my head.
Baron,
why, man? Why? We're trying to end the show on a good note.
Hey, we did it. We made Mike feel uncomfortable twice during the show, at least, Baron. We did it. High five, man.
Yeah. Oh, he left. He heated himself again. Yeah. Well, I just want to let everybody know, thank you for being here. Yes. Thank you so very much. And Mike wants to let you know that he's not just a baseball guy.
Yeah,
he is
an all-around guy. Yes, all-around guy.
I can't believe it. I had to eat myself from the stream after that again. Come on, man.
Well, everyone knows Phil McCracken is Corn Pop. He is one bad dude.
Ooh, he's Corn Pop. Yeah, that seems about right.
But thank you all for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Whether you watched on Rumble, whether you watched on YouTube, thank you very much. And if you liked what you saw, please make sure you're subscribing to Baron, Cash, and myself. And make sure you follow the Rumble channel. I would greatly appreciate that. And until then, remember, I'm not just a baseball guy, I'm an all around guy. And also, don't ever give up on me when it comes to gaming because you never know.
Don't give up on me. Yep.
Have a good rest of your Sunday, and we will see you all later.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
How do we get through that?
It's madness, I tell you.
Madness, you see. Everything's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
We lost it with the Doc.
It's always madness here on Pop Talk. You know that.
We are YouTube's
We lost Mike like
Phoenix.
3 times, man. It's crazy.
I know. He did it to himself.
Yeah,
But like,
you lost